Magical Pokémon Urban System. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 276 Gym Master, Lalita, seeking support. On the second day, Liu went directly to the Rainbow Gym. Because he had made an appointment in advance, he could go directly to challenge. According to Liu, the gym owner of the Rainbow Gym is a female trainer named Lalita Ranli. Don't think wrongly, this Lalita does not refer to that Lalita. But don't think that the other party is a woman, so you look down on her. Lalita Ranli is a real gym level trainer. Mrs. Lalita, hello. I'm Liu. Looking at the gym owner of the Rainbow Gym in front of him, Lalita, dressed in a palace dress, elegant and majestic. Hello. I have heard of your name for a long time, but I haven't seen you until now. Today, I see that your strength is indeed worthy of your status. Staring at Liu for a long time, I don't know what she saw. Lalita suddenly said this. What? Hearing Lalita's words, Liu was inexplicably shocked and at a loss. You have to know that Liu's cultivation method is a Chinese Xiuxin style, and he practices a technique that hides his strength. Therefore, masters of the same level or even higher realms cannot easily see Liu's true strength. But now this Lalita's strength is only at the gym level, which is equivalent to a heavenly master in the realm of Xiuxin. Yizimi and Yupeng, who I met before, are also gym level masters, but they did not discover his strength. But now this Lalita, but she saw through Liu's hidden strength at a glance, which shows that she is definitely extraordinary. Haha, Madam Lalita, you are too kind. My strength is not worth mentioning in front of you. But after thinking about it, Liu was relieved. After all, there is still some gap in strength between the two, and even if she can see it, it doesn't matter. Although that's what I said, there is no systematic training method for trainers. You can improve your strength to the gold level before reaching a shared contract with the elves. It is really amazing. Looking at Liu with admiration, Lalita smiled and said, when the trainer reaches the gold level, he can apply for a sharing contract with one of his elves. Then he can share the strength of the elves and all their talents and skills. Then the trainers can have the same powerful strength as the elves. Of course, there are exceptions, such as those special families. Like the Super Conquer family, the Wave family, and some hidden families, they are born with some special abilities. So even if you don't reach a sharing contract with the elves, you can still get very powerful strength by practicing their special talents. Luck, just good luck. What else can Liu say about Lalita's words? He can only respond like this. Well, let's start. Let me see the tacit understanding between you and the elves, and see how strong you are. Lalita said with a smile as she threw a Pokeball first. Pokémon, stinky attributes, grass plus poison qualifications, diamond level, silver level 35 features, chlorophyll effect, under sunny conditions, it can quickly carry out photosynthesis, thereby restoring its own consumed energy and increasing its own strength. Ability, talented skill, poison powder plus mud bomb. Others not activated. Learning skill. Million tons absorption plus sleep powder plus vicious toxin plus sun flame plus sunny day. Lalita's first elf is stinky flower, a dual attribute elf of grass and poison. And it depends on the attributes of stinky flower. Its strength is also very good. The characteristics of chlorophyll just match stinky flower's skills, sunny day and sun flame, thus exerting extraordinary combat power. But even so, Liu is not afraid at all, because Liu believes that his elf will be stronger. Name, Charmeleon attribute, fire, hidden attribute, dragon, not activated. Qualification, epic level, silver rank, level 35, 99%. Characteristics, fire blessing effect, in an environment where fire element gather, amplify attacks and absorb the opponent's fire attacks. Ability, talented skill, dragon dance, dance the mysterious dance that the dragon clan does not pass on, and increase your own attack and speed. Enabled, explosive flame strike, wrap the whole body with flames and attack the opponent, and you will also suffer considerable damage. There is a chance to burn the opponent. Enabled. Flame Dragon Rush. Gather all the strength of the whole body and attack the opponent continuously and violently. Enabled at level 40. Dragon God Dive. Release the terrifying Murderosaur and hit the opponent at the same time. Sometimes it will make the opponent timid. Enabled at level 50. Learning skills. Explosive Flame Fist plus Destruction Death Ray plus Jet Flame plus Dragon Scale Fury plus Planet Throw. After half a month of high intensity training, Charmeleon is on the verge of evolving again and has successfully mastered the two skills of Planet Throw and Destruction Death Ray. Charmeleon. Fierce Flame Fist. Seeing Charmeleon's strength, which has reached this relatively high level, Liu is also very pleased. After all, Charmeleon is his original spirit, and he is very happy that he can grow to today's level in such a short time. Raw. With a full responsive fighting spirit, Charmeleon directly attached the scorching flames to his fists. Stinky Flower. Use Mud Bomb to stop him. Seeing Charmeleon so aggressive, Lalita was slightly surprised but quickly reacted, and also commanded Stinky Flower to fight back. Although the poison attribute is only a secondary attribute of Stinky Flower, its proficiency in poison skills is not much worse than that of grass skills. Chichichi. The mud bomb with strong corrosiveness missed the attack and bombarded the field, corroding a large black area in an instant, which shows how strong its toxicity is. Shua shua shua. The Flame Fist was swung continuously, and Charmeleon was like a perpetual motion machine, not giving the opponent a chance to react. Bang. It is an indisputable fact that Stinky Flower's strength is weaker than Charmeleon. Therefore, even if he can dodge, he will eventually be attacked. Good job, Charmeleon. Throw it on the planet. Let him fly. In the previous training in the battle hall, Liu specifically cultivated Charmeleon's skill. First of all, it was because the power of the planetary throw was strong, and secondly, it was because this ability was very suitable for Charmeleon. And after it evolved into Charizard, this ability would be even stronger. Pa. He grabbed Smelly with both hands tightly, not giving the opponent a chance to react. Then he directly rotated 360 degrees and accelerated, and Smelly instantly flew to the sky dozens of meters high. Very good. Take him away with the last blow, and spray fire. Chapter 277 Green Grass Blender, Seeking Support. Charmeleon used only one planetary throw to send Smelly Flower flying into the air. Then, he used another jet of flames, which went straight towards Smelly Flower. Smelly Flower. Sunny Day. When Lalita saw that Smelly Flower was doomed to lose, she didn't hesitate too much, and immediately ordered him to use the Sunny Day skill. But, just before the jet of flames was about to hit, Smelly Flower took the lead in releasing the Sunny Day skill. It was originally cloudless and the weather was just right, but it suddenly became hot and dry. It was like being in the depths of the desert, so dry and hot that people had the urge to take off their clothes. Of course, these feelings had no effect on Liu. After all, his strength was already at the peak of the Earth rank. Boom. As soon as the weather changed, the jet of flames hit Smelly Flower and defeated it instantly. Although she saw Smelly Flower being defeated like this, Lalita was not particularly disappointed. Instead, she was relieved because she successfully released the Sunny Day skill. Come out, Tropical Dragon. Without any hesitation, Lalita released the second Pokémon directly. After seeing the attributes of Tropical Dragon, Liu finally understood why Lalita had asked Chrysanthemum to release the Sunny Day skill. Pokémon. Tropical Dragon attributes, Grass plus Flying qualifications, Diamond level, Silver level 35 features, Solar energy effect. Under sunny conditions, one's own physical strength will decrease rapidly, but the strength will increase significantly. Ability, talented skills, Awakening plus Steel Wings, the rest are not activated. Learning skills, Leaf Storm plus Leaf Blade plus Natural Favor plus Grass Blender plus S/ as expected. Everything must have its reasons. Lalita asked Chrysanthemum to use Sunny Day in order to increase the combat power of the next Pokémon. The solar energy of Tropical Dragon's characteristics is absolutely very powerful, otherwise Lalita would not have specially planned the layout for Tropical Dragon in advance. Although it is said that it will increase its own strength at the cost of consuming physical strength. However, with the existence of the Natural Favor skill, Tropical Dragon can also actively restore the consumed physical strength. Charmer. Charge. Don't give him a chance to use his skills. Explosive Flame Strike. To deal with the characteristics of Tropical Dragon, the best solution is to break out of Loiter's layout and take the initiative to attack and quickly solve Tropical Dragon. Roar. The figure was like an afterimage, and Charmer instantly disappeared from the spot, and the speed was almost as fast as teleportation. This is impossible. Tropical Dragon. Leaf Storm. The energy in the Tropical Dragon's body surged wildly and instantly formed a sky full of energy blades around it. This blade was highly condensed like a substance, and it didn't seem to be made of energy at all. Buzz. Boom boom boom. The energy blades rotated quickly to form a blade storm, and the surrounding air also surged wildly, making an air all like an explosion. Swish. With a strong swing, the energy blade storm rushed towards Charmer. At this time, Charmer also approached with an imposing manner. Seeing the blade storm pointing directly at him, Charmer didn't pause at all. Roar. Destruction Ray. Charmeleon continued to charge forward and used its strongest skill, Destruction Ray. Boom boom boom. Destruction Ray is said to be one of the most powerful skills among all the skill machines, and its power is so terrifying that you can imagine it. Although Charmeleon has just learned it, it can't resist the advantage of the skill itself. Although the power of Leaf Storm is not bad, it is directly crushed by the Destruction Ray. Puff puff puff. Just like a balloon leaking air, Blade Leaf Storm was directly defeated by the Destruction Ray and instantly collapsed and scattered into the air. Swish. The power of the Explosion Flame Flash attack did not decrease. Like a surging train, it hit the Tropical Dragon directly. Kai kai kai. Not only that, Charmeleon also used the strong impact force and sharp claws to fiercely hit the Tropical Dragon, leaving several clearly visible wounds. Roar. Air Slash. Flying Leaf Sharp Knife. The Tropical Dragon flew backwards and roared in pain. Energy surged out, and various skills were thrown at Charmeleon without regard for his life. Shua shua shua. Charmeleon moved quickly, dodging the attacks. Because Tropical Dragon attacked with anger, its accuracy was terrible, and Charmeleon easily dodged these attacks. Tropical Dragon. Calm down. Green Grass Blender. Loiter spoke quickly, calming Tropical Dragon's irritable mood, and calmly commanded Tropical Dragon to fight back. Roar. Loiter's voice seemed to have magic power, and Tropical Dragon actually regained its calm in an instant. Although it was in great pain, it still managed to mobilize energy to launch skills. Buzz. The Green Grass Blender skill was very interesting. It didn't sound like a skill name at all, but it did exist. After the skill was activated, the entire battlefield was like a blender, and all people and things in it felt a pulling force. It was as if the location of Tropical Dragon was the center of gravity of the planet, and everything wanted to move in that direction. Buzz. Shua shua shua. Before the Charmander could resist, the strange traction turned into centrifugal force again. The Charmander lost its balance and was almost thrown into the air. Whoosh whoosh. The invisible air, the dirt and sand on the ground were all rolled up by this skill, and the whole world seemed to be spinning. As time passed slowly, the strange centrifugal force became stronger and stronger, and the invisible storm became more and more fierce. The Charmander was about to be pulled into the storm. We can't delay any longer. Otherwise, the Charmander will definitely be pulled into the storm. Although Liu quickly saw the principle of this skill, it was too late to stop it. Therefore, Liu could only think of a way to minimize the impact on the Charmander. Charmander. Dragon Dance. Dragon Scale Fury. Although the consumption of the Tropical Dragon became more and more serious when using this skill, the Charmander would definitely be the first to give up before the physical strength and energy were exhausted. Therefore, Liu could only use this method to increase the strength of the fire dinosaur first, and then release the powerful skill of Dragon Scale Fury, hoping to interrupt the rhythm of the Tropical Dragon. Roar. With a roar, the fire dinosaur stomped its feet on the ground, mobilized all the energy around it, and then saw an energy dragon slowly formed. Roar. As the energy continued to be injected, the flying dragon became more and more focused. Finally, the flying dragon that reached its limit seemed to wake up, and its momentum suddenly reached a climax. A faint dragon roar sounded, and then the flying dragon pounced on the Tropical Dragon. Buzz. The storm in the sky was also pulling the flying dragon, trying to tear it into pieces, and the fight between the two was about to break out. Chapter 278 Crazy Plants, Seeking Support. The wind rolled up the dark clouds, and in the center of the storm mixer, an energy dragon was flying proudly. Ahem, don't hit me in the face, roar. The dragon's energy was constantly being consumed, but it was still firmly blasting towards the tropical dragon. Boom. Finally, when the energy was halfway done, the energy dragon roared and crashed directly into the tropical dragon. Swish. Because the tropical dragon was gathering energy to activate the skill green grass blender, it had no time to care about anything else and had no power to resist. Bang. The skill was forcibly interrupted during the activation, causing the energy in the tropical dragon's body to rage wildly. In addition, the tropical dragon was attacked and could not take the initiative to calm the rioting energy for a while. Whoosh. The storms around it driven by the tropical dragon gradually disappeared and calmed down. Charmer. Fierce Flame Fist. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Liu quickly commanded the Charmer to attack and strive to win with one blow. Tropical Dragon. Get up quickly, Nature's Grace. Lalita naturally couldn't stand by and watch as Tropical Dragon was taken away by Charmeleon, so she shouted loudly. Roar. Nature's Grace. Struggling to stand up, Tropical Dragon quickly calmed down the raging energy in his body and then used the Nature's Grace skill to restore his consumed physical strength. Boom. Spreading his wings, Tropical Dragon soared into the sky and his wings instantly became as hard as steel. Bang. Charmeleon ignored Tropical Dragon's dying struggle, and the explosive Flame Fist carried a scorching airwave and hit Tropical Dragon's steel wings fiercely. Shua shua shua. He rushed forward again, punching Tropical Dragon one after another in a row. Woo woo woo. Tropical Dragon was not given any chance to react at all, and the Flame Fist shadows in the sky directly killed it on the spot. Come back. Tropical Dragon. Facing such a powerful living dinosaur, Lalita could only sigh secretly, and Tropical Dragon's strength could not be exerted at all. Elf, Lot Kappa attributes, Water plus Grass qualification, Diamond level, Silver level 35 features, Go Your Own Way effect, Lot Kappa's stubborn character makes him unaffected by chaos skills. Ability, Innate skill, Parasitic Seed plus Optical Synthesis, other skills not yet activated. Learning skills, Million Tons Absorption plus Natural Ability plus Mind Hammer plus Freezing, Ray plus Seed Bomb. New elf, new challenge. Lalita's third elf is Lot Kappa, a water and grass type. Although in terms of attributes, the water type Lot Kappa restrains the fire type Charmeleon. But from the perspective of strength attributes, Lot Kappa's strength is not as good as Charmeleon. Charmeleon. Destroy the Death Ray. Since the strength comparison between the two sides has been clearly seen, Liu has nothing to hesitate about and directly commands Charmeleon to attack. Lot Kappa. Parasitic Seed. Seed Bomb. While Charmeleon was gathering energy, Lalita directly ordered Lot Kappa to attack, trying to stop Charmeleon's actions and give it a fatal attack. Scream. Energy seeds flew out in the sky, just like flowers scattered by a fairy, and went straight to the Charmeleon. Bang, bang, bang. When it was half a meter away from the Charmeleon, the seeds exploded one after another with a thought. Roar. Charmeleon took on the attack of the Charmeleon and suppressed the energy that wanted to riot. Swish. Even though it suffered a lot of damage, the Charmeleon did not make any sound. Regardless of the light gradually condensed, it roared and bombarded the Charmeleon. Scream. Freezing Ray. The Destruction Ray is known as one of the strongest skills. With the strength of the Charmeleon, it is definitely impossible to dodge it. Therefore, the Charmeleon directly used the Freezing Ray to consume the energy of the Destruction Ray. Chi-chi-chi. But the Destruction Ray was not so easy to resist. It broke the Excitement Ray with an overwhelming force, and the Freezing Ray bombarded the Charmeleon directly. Bang. The figure instantly flew backwards, and Lot Kappa crashed directly into the wall around the venue. Charmer. Throw on the planet. According to Liu's command, Charmer again rushed forward. He grabbed Lot Kappa's body tightly with both hands, and then instantly threw it into the sky. Swish. Bang. 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 Lot Kappa, which was dozens of meters high in the air, fell down with a uniform acceleration. The speed was getting faster and faster, and finally it hit the ground directly and rolled on the ground several times before finally stopping. Bang. Killed in seconds. Killed in seconds again. Lot Kappa had just appeared on the stage for less than 5 minutes and was taken away by Charmer. Good job, Charmer. Well done. Liu was very satisfied with the wonderful performance of Charmer and could not help but praise loudly. Haha. It seems that the choice of the Cheok family is indeed foresighted. Lalita was not only not upset about her defeat, but secretly admired Charmer's fighting power. Swoosh. The Pokeball was thrown out again, and Lalita's fourth Pokémon appeared. Pokémon, Green Ivy Snake attribute, Grass qualification, Diamond level, Silver level 35 features, Sky Demon effect. When using Grass skills, the power of the skills will be enhanced. Ability, innate skills, Guard plus Dragon Tail, the rest are not activated. Learning skills, Crazy Plant plus Super Absorption plus Leaf Storm plus Sunflame plus Energy Ball. Green Ivy Snake, the final evolution form is Monarch Snake, which is Liu's favorite grass Pokémon. Liu also thought about going to the Unova region one day to get an initial grass Pokémon, that is, Vine Snake. Of course, it is not so easy to go to the river region. Not to mention how far away it is from the Kanto region. Liu has not experienced all of the Kanto region today, let alone other regions. Charmer, Fierce Flame Fist. To deal with grass Pokémons, fire skills are naturally the most powerful. What's more, Charmer itself is a fire Pokémon, so it is even easier to deal with Green Ivy Snake. Green Vine Snake, Crazy Plant. Lalita seemed to be very confident in the strength of the Green Vine Snake. She had no intention of dodging and directly commanded the Green Vine Snake to fight hard. Swish, swish, swish. The two vine whips behind the Green Vine Snake kept waving, as if commanding something. Puff, puff, puff. The Charmander, who was rushing forward, suddenly paused and felt that his feet seemed to be bound by something. Bang. But before he could see what was under his feet clearly, the inertia of the rush made the Charmander crash directly into the ground. Swish, swish, swish. With his hands on the ground, the Charmander wanted to stand up quickly and at the same time turned around to look at the thing that bound his feet. Then the Charmander saw countless vines whistling towards him. Chapter 279 Water Dragon breaks the sky. Countless vines surged from behind the Charmander and instantly covered him from all directions. The vines seemed to be alive, spreading upward along the Charmander's feet, gradually tying him up like a meat dumpling. The surrounding vines entangled with each other and finally formed a vine cage. The Charmander was like a prisoner, tied up like a mummy and locked inside. Green Vine Snake, Super Absorption. The Charmander was bound in the vine cage. The vines were extremely strong. No matter how the Charmander struggled, it could not break free. At this time, Lalita also commanded the Green Vine Snake to move forward again, and the Super Absorption skill was activated. The two vines behind the Green Vine Snake stretched out directly and then connected to the vine cage. Buzz buzz buzz. In an instant, the entire vine cage seemed to light up, especially the part that touched the Charmander's body, which directly exposed countless barbs and pierced into the Charmander's body. Then the energy in the Charmander's body was slowly drawn out by the vines and passed to the Green Vine Snake along the vine cage. Charmer, attack with fire. Seeing that Charmer was so passive, if it continued like this, Charmer would definitely be consumed by the Green Ivy Snake and lose its fighting power. And with the power of Charmer, it could not break free from the vines with strong toughness, so Liu wanted Charmer to use fire to burn the vines to get rid of the restraints. Boom. Charmer, which had little energy, was absorbed by the Green Ivy Snake. Therefore, it was a bit powerless to launch a fire attack. But in the end, Charmer still condensed flames and covered its body, but the power was really terrible. Zzzz. Although the surface of the vine was ignited, it did not affect its overall shape at all, so Charmer still could not break through, but wasted its physical strength and the little energy left. Ting. Energy Ball. Seeing that Charmer was about to collapse due to the large amount of energy consumption, the Green Ivy Snake controlled the vines to slowly separate, revealing Charmer tied up like a mummy. Then an energy ball was shot out and landed on Charmer. Because the green vine snake was deliberately restrained, its power only knocked Charmeleon unconscious and did not cause serious damage. Charmeleon, you've worked hard, come back and rest. Liu had long expected that Charmeleon might fail, so when he saw this scene, he was not surprised. On the contrary, Liu felt very relieved because of Charmeleon's wonderful fight. Secretly thanking Charmeleon for his hard work, Liu put him back into the Pokeball. The next one is decided to be you. Double-edged pill. Name, double-edged pill. Attribute, water. Hidden attribute, dragon. Qualification, legendary level, silver tier 35, level 99%. Features, dragon fury effect. In the dragon transformation state, the dragon's majesty is added, thereby greatly improving its own strength. This state can be controlled and turned on by yourself. Ability, talented skills, water swimming. As long as there is water, the strength is increased by 20%. Already turned on. Surfing, manipulate the huge waves to sweep in all directions. The power of this skill is doubled in the water environment. Enabled, water pillar tail. Use the power of water to condense a giant pillar that reaches the sky. Enabled at level 40. Fish leaping over the dragon gate. Absorb the blood of a powerful dragon type elf and possess the power of dragon transformation. Enabled at level 50. Learning skills. Million ton horn strike plus freezing beam plus water jet plus water dragon cannon plus water dragon breaking sky slash. Although the attributes of the double-edged pill are restrained by the green vine snake, Liu's double-edged pill is definitely an exception. The double-edged pill, which has hidden dragon attributes, controls multiple powerful non-water skills. Both its strength and talent are very strong. If the double-edged pill cannot defeat the green vine snake, then Liu's hard training for so long is really useless. Double-edged pill. Freezing beam. As one of Liu's powerful elves, the strength of the double-edged pill is still not to be underestimated. However, for the sake of safety, Liu first let the double-edged pill use the freezing beam to interfere for a wave, and then the real attack skills. Moreover, the freezing ray itself is an ice skill, which is not restrained by the grass type, so if it hits, the power is still very considerable. Boom. The icicle carrying the icy breath gradually condensed, and then shot straight at the green vine snake. Swish. Following closely was the double-edged pill wielding the dragon scale blade. After the level was upgraded, the dragon scale blade became more firm and sharp. Swish, swish, swish. The vine whip behind the green vine snake was his main weapon. Seeing that the freezing ray was about to hit, the green vine snake controlled the vine whip and swung it, leaving a trail of after images. Chichichi. Just before the freezing ray approached, the two instantly grabbed the icicle. However, due to the fierce momentum of the forward rush, the friction between the vine whip and the icicle made a shishi sound. Swish, swish, swish. At this moment, the double-edged pill followed the attack. The dragon scale blade quickly swung and slashed at the vine whip of the green vine snake. Whoosh. But the green vine snake seemed to have divine power and actually used the icicle for its own use. It swung the icicle like a stick and smashed it towards the double-edged pill, making a whistling sound that shook the air. Chichichi. The dragon scale blade slashed on the icicle, but it did not cut it directly, but penetrated into the wood 3 points and could not move forward. Liu had no other thoughts except being speechless. Originally, he just wanted to interfere with the green vine snake, but he did not expect that he would suffer the consequences of his own actions and instead gave the other party a weapon to resist him. Raw. Water dragon breaking the sky slash. But the double-edged pill would not give up the attack just like that. He directly released the big move he had just learned. Water dragon breaking the sky slash. Shua shua shua. The dragon scale blade was held at the waist, and the energy continued to surge and gather, and then it was swung out 3 times in a row. Roar, roar, roar. In an instant, 3 dragon-shaped sword auras whistled and surged towards the green vine snake. Just like those high-level swordsmen, they have reached the realm of mind transformation. Every swing of the sword can bring out countless sword ki in the sky. Bang bang bang. This time, the ice pillar can no longer assist the green vine snake, and it was directly chopped into ice slag. Kai kai kai. Then it hit the green vine snake. Even if he used the vine whip to resist, he could not withstand the continuous bombardment of the dragon-shaped sword ki. Pa. With a snap, the vine whip of the green vine snake was instantly cut in half, and then bombarded the green vine snake. Fortunately, the vine whip of the green vine snake can consume energy and regenerate, otherwise Li Yusin would be huge. Bang bang. Seeing that the green vine snake still wanted to resist, Chuang Bianwen directly used the back of the dragon scale blade to slap him hard. Although it was not fatal, the fierce force hitting the body was also painful enough to make people faint. Chapter 280 Water Dragon Cannon. The nearly fainted green ivy snake still couldn't escape the fate of being defeated. Chuang Renmaru has already grasped his own battle rhythm, so how could he let green ivy snake have a chance to turn the tables? Some elves are like this. As long as they are put into a very disadvantageous state, they can basically be taken away in one set. Just like green ivy snake, because it can't fly, once it is taken to the sky by a flying elf, it basically becomes a passive attack target, and has no chance to resist. Although Chuang Renmaru can't take green ivy snake to the sky, it can use strong force to combo it alive, until it loses its combat effectiveness. Elf. Cunning Tengu attributes, Grass plus Dark qualification, Diamond level, Silver level 35 features, Stealing bad habit effect. Every time you use a skill, you can automatically absorb energy from the outside world to feed back to yourself. Ability, Talented skills, Clearing fog plus Whirlwind blade, the rest are not enabled. Learning skills, Storm plus Leaf blade plus Shadow ball plus Shadow clone plus Scissors cross punch. Cunning Tengu, Grass plus Dark elf. Among all the grass type Pokémons, it is also a very rare and powerful one. However, if Liu is asked to choose one from all the grass type Pokémons, he will still choose Monarch Snake instead of Cunning Tengu. As for the reason, it is a very simple truth. First of all, Monarch Snake is more powerful, and secondly, Monarch Snake is more majestic and domineering. Double-edged bill. Million-ton horn attack. Liu quickly came up with a strategy to deal with Cunning Tengu. Because Cunning Tengu's skills are disgusting, the Shadow clone alone is enough to make people feel troubled. Therefore, if you want to deal with this kind of Pokémon, the best way is to let him have no chance to activate skills. Just crush the opponent with powerful strength, and don't give him any chance to react. Roar. The dragon scale blade was raised to the top of his head, and the energy covered the whole body to form a shield. Million-ton horn attack rushed towards Cunning Tengu with the momentum of Mount Te. Cunning Tengu. Shadow clone. But Lalita obviously understood the advantages of Cunning Tengu, so she directly let Cunning Tengu use Shadow clone. Sure. As the figure flashed, the Cunning Tengu split into 10, and it was impossible to tell which one was the real one. Puff, puff, puff. Even so, the attack of Chuang Renmaru did not stop at all, but instead rushed towards the Cunning Tengu. 3 times in a row, 3 clones of the Cunning Tengu were directly destroyed, but the position of the real one was still not found. Woo. Shadow ball. The remaining Cunning Tengu put their hands on their chests at the same time, and the Shadow ball skills gradually condensed. The pitch black Shadow ball condensed quickly, and the Cunning Tengu surrounded Chuang Renmaru in the middle. Sure. 7 Shadow balls shot at Chuang Renmaru at the same time. It was impossible to tell which one was the attack of the real body, and which one was the attack of the clone. Roar. Surf. All the ways to dodge were blocked, and Chuang Renmaru had no choice but to take this move head on. But Chuang Renmaru didn't show any sign of nervousness. Instead, he calmly mobilized the energy in his body. In an instant, huge waves appeared around him. Boom boom boom. The huge waves that suddenly appeared rushed towards the surroundings, just like a tsunami disaster, and Chuang Renmaru was nimbly flying on the huge waves. Puff puff. The shadow ball fell on the huge wave, and was swallowed up without splashing a single drop of water. However, 2 of the clones of the Cunning Tengu were destroyed by the huge waves again. Woo. Storm. Whirlwind blade. The remaining 5 Cunning Tengu waved their hands at the same time, just like the legendary wind and rain, and a storm suddenly blew up in the calm sky. The storm gathered the surrounding air and spun rapidly. The air was constantly compressed and gradually condensed into substance, forming a bunch of air blades. Driven by the storm, the air blades in the sky rotated accordingly. The speed was getting faster and faster, flashing with cold light and whistling towards Chuang Renmaru. Roar. Water Dragon Cannon. Storm, Blade. They all roared at him, and it was impossible to tell which one was the real body's attack in a short time. Therefore, Shuang Renmaru could only crush his opponent with force, and his strongest skill, Water Dragon Cannon, slowly gathered. Boom boom boom. There were 5 storms around him, and Shuang Renmaru could only ignore them, and randomly fired the Water Dragon Cannon in one direction. Puff. However, the chance of hitting the real body with this kind of attack that was completely based on luck was really terrible. The Water Dragon Cannon did not attack the real body, but destroyed another clone. Boom boom. Energy continued to be injected, and the Water Dragon Cannon was like a laser, sweeping around. Surprisingly, Shuang Renmaru's luck was so good this time, that he didn't expect that the real body would attack next to the clone. Maybe the cunning Tengu didn't expect that Shuang Renmaru would have this trick. So he didn't put up any resistance at all, and was directly hit by the Water Dragon Cannon, and his figure flew backwards dozens of meters away in an instant. Good job. Shuangren won. Dragon Scale Blade. The real body has been revealed, and now is the best time for Shuangren 1 to take advantage of the victory and pursue. Liu directly ordered Shuangren 1 to bully the opponent, and try to take him down with one move. Cunning Tengu. Storm. But even in the current bad situation, Lalita still did not give up, but commanded Cunning Tengu to continue to persist. But Cunning Tengu, who was originally flying backwards, suddenly rose up under his body. Taking advantage of the storm, Cunning Tengu directly stabilized his body. Cunning Tengu. Scissors cross fist. Although he stabilized his body, Cunning Tengu was still a long distance from the ground. At this time, Shuangren 1's attack had also arrived, so Lalita could only command Cunning Tengu to counterattack in midair. Shua shua shua. Bang bang bang. The two elves were agile, and they actually went back and forth in midair, and their attacks collided with each other. But for the control of close combat, Shuangren 1 thought he was still okay. At least he was very confident in dealing with the Cunning Tengu. Sure. The dragon scale blade swung out fiercely, and the weak and small water dragon slashed through the air. Bang. The reduced dragon shape sword energy surged out instantly, and hit the Cunning Tengu's chest directly. Bang. With both feet stomping on the ground, the double-edged ball came directly into the air, and the freezing light condensed instantly, hitting the Cunning Tengu in mid-air. Woo woo woo. After taking another city, the Cunning Tengu lost his fighting power and fainted. Yes, the current battle situation is very favorable for Liu. Lalita only has the last elf left, and Liu just released the second elf. So as long as he keeps working hard, Liu can win the final victory and get the rainbow badge. Chapter 281 Petal Blizzard. There is only one elf left. Lalita's last elf is Roserade, a grass and poison elf, and also has psychic skills. Elf, Roserade attributes, grass plus poison qualification, legendary level, silver level 35 features, natural recovery effect, automatically absorb energy from nature, to restore the physical strength and energy consumed by the body. Ability, talented skills, sweetness plus aromatherapy, the rest are not activated. Learning skills, venom trap plus petal blizzard plus grass flute magic sound plus ground star plus seed bomb from the attributes. Roserade is obviously Lalita's strongest elf. Of course, this strongest refers to the strongest elf used in the battle with Liu. Seeing Roserade's attributes, Liu had only one feeling in his heart. That is, considering the current physical strength and energy consumption of double-edged pill, it is not so easy to defeat Roserade. Roserade. Grass flute magic sound. As soon as Lalita's commanding voice ended, Roserade took out a green flute from nowhere. Woo woo woo. Dee dee dee. Putting the flute to his lips, a song slowly sounded in the empty field. This song seemed to have a mysterious magic, and it seemed ordinary at first. But as the song continued to sound, Liu felt that his spirit was being pulled by some kind of force. Even Liu was like this, not to mention the weaker Shuangrenmaru. His state at this time was even worse, as if he was in a state of absent-mindedness. Double-edged Meru. Cheer up, don't be affected. He shook his head violently, adjusted his mental state, and then Liu hurriedly shouted loudly to Shuangrenmaru. Roar. What? He was originally immersed in some special memories, but in the haze, Shuangrenmaru only felt a familiar voice. The thoughts in his mind turned around 1,000 times, and when Li Yu's name appeared, Chuang Renmaru's spirit was shocked, and he recovered directly from that absent-minded state. Dao Dao. Seed bomb. But as early as when Li Yu reminded Chuang Renmaru, Lalita had already instructed Rosseraid. Seeing that Chuang Bianwen was so fast, Rosseraid's attack was already condensed and completed without the interference of skills. Bang, bang, bang. The sky full of seed bombs bombarded Chuang Bianwen like a bomber, covering the entire area around Chuang Bianwen. Some seed bombs exploded directly before they touched Chuang Bianwen, while others fell on the field beside him. Sure. In order to dodge the seed bombs that could explode at any time, Chuang Bianwen had to move back and forth, and he couldn't step on the seed bombs that hadn't exploded. Bang, bang, bang. But just as Chuang Bianwen was about to dodge a seed bomb that was about to explode, the empty ground under his feet suddenly exploded. What? Stars all over the ground. When Li Yu was shocked by the sudden change and didn't react for a while, but he soon figured out what was going on. Stars all over the ground. Sprinkle the ground with diamonds in advance. When the opponent touches the diamonds, it will trigger a strong explosion. Although Li Yu never saw Rosseraid use the Starry Sky skill from beginning to end, but when he used the grass flute magic sound, Li Yu had a brief moment of absent-mindedness. Now thinking about it, it must have been at that time that Rosseraid used the Starry Sky skill. But Li Yu never thought about it, so there was a sudden attack on Chuang Renmaru. Duodo. Petal Blizzard. Just when Chuang Renmaru's body balance was affected by the Starry Sky, causing the center of gravity to be unstable, Rosseraid's attack came again. Huahaha. Just like the flowers scattered by the goddess, the flowers of different colors exuded fragrance and slowly fell from the sky. The picture looks very beautiful, but under the beautiful appearance, there is a murderous intent. But the bright flowers that seem harmless are actually sharper than swords. And in the process of falling, these petals actually rotated rapidly. In the end, a petal storm was formed directly, and a hint of icy breath was faintly revealed, which also corresponds to the words wind and snow in the petal blizzard. Sure. The dragon scale blade swung out an energy wave, and through the force of the recoil, the double-edged pill quickly reversed in the air, and finally landed quickly and smoothly. Buzz buzz buzz. The same prepared skill was used to counter-attack, and the water dragon cannon slowly condensed again. Now that the double-edged pill's strength has also become stronger, his water dragon cannon is no longer like before, which can only be used once. Although it can still only be used once in a short period of time, it only takes a period of time to recover, which is equivalent to the cooling time, and then the double-edged pill can use the water dragon cannon a second time. Boom. Because the petal blizzard was successfully condensed in advance, the double-edged pill could only blast out the water dragon cannon that was not completely condensed. Kai kai kai. During the collision of skills, the water dragon cannon attacked the petal blizzard, and the energy continued to repel and melt each other. Puff. The energy concentration of the petal blizzard was still weaker than that of the water dragon cannon, so it was directly broken through with a big hole and blasted towards Rosseraid. Hua hua hua. Even so, the petal blizzard did not disappear, but still firmly enveloped the double-edged Meru. Bang. Shoo shoo shoo. In a flash, the two attacks hit their respective targets. Rosseraid was directly blown away, and although double-edged Meru was fine on the surface, he was also cut by the petals. These wounds looked inconspicuous, but they directly broke through the defense of double-edged Meru's body surface, causing very great damage. Hoo hoo hoo. Half kneeling on the ground, his whole body seemed to be bitten by hundreds of ants. The pain that came from his heart could not be expressed in words. Duo. Rosseraid was not much better. He was also hit by the water dragon cannon, and the damage caused was definitely not easy to resist. Alright. That's it. Li Yu. I don't think there is any need to continue fighting. In Rosseraid's state, she will definitely not be able to resist your 4 elves. At this moment, Lalita suddenly stepped forward and took Rosseraid back, and then said to Li Yu, it's like this again. But it doesn't matter. After all, victory is inevitable. In this regard, Li Yu was speechless, and the rest was just happiness. After all, being able to successfully pass the gym battle and get another badge is still worth being happy about. Thank you, Mrs. Lalita. Thank you. With a slight smile, Liu naturally had to politely thank the other party for the suggestion. Chapter 282 Daily Life in Rainbow City. After successfully challenging the Rainbow Gym, Liu got another badge. With this one, he got a total of 5 badges, one short of the 6 badges required to participate in the Kanto tournament. As long as Liu successfully challenges again and passes a gym, he can meet the requirements for participating in the competition. After leaving the Rainbow Gym, Liu quickly returned to the Elf Hospital, and Shilinfei was studying with Xiaopang at this time. After so much study, Xiaopang was familiar with the 4 books and 5 classics. No, he learned a lot about cultivation. Although Xiaopang was hatched from an elf egg, he didn't look like an elf at all, but was no different from a human. He could speak human language and practice martial arts. If Liu hadn't seen with his own eyes how Xiaopang was born, he would definitely not doubt Xiaopang's origin. But even if he studied, Xiaopang didn't have any desire to practice martial arts. Instead, he ate, drank, played and had fun every day, looking innocent. But what made Liu depressed was that even if Xiaopang didn't practice every day, his strength was slowly improving. Through the breath sensing, and then comparing the realm of cultivation, Liu found that Xiaopang's strength was comparable to the earth level in the realm of cultivation. You know, Liu is only at the peak of the earth level, but Xiaopang can still have the same strength as him just by eating, drinking and having fun. However, although he was depressed, Liu was really happy and proud of Xiaopang for having such a great talent. Name: Xiaopang. Attribute: Origin God Seed. Qualification: Level. Features: Ability: Xiaopang should also be considered an elf. After all, it was hatched from an elf egg. But every time Liu used the identification ability to look at his attributes, he could only get a lot of question marks. Although he saw Xiaopang's attribute, Origin God Seed, but Liu had never heard of this attribute. Even if he asked the system in Chinese, he didn't get any useful response. Origin God Seed. It sounds very tall and awesome at first. But no matter how powerful it is, if you don't know what it is and what it does, what's the use of it? Liu feels the same way now. He has already obtained some information, but it is of no use at all, which only makes him more curious. Let's go. I'll take you out to play. This is a paradise for girls. I'll treat you today. You can buy whatever you want. Since you have come to Rainbow City, it would be a waste of time if you don't go to Rainbow Building for a stroll, and Liu is not short of money now. Great. When he heard that he could buy whatever he wanted, Xiaopang jumped up with joy. This guy's a standard super foodie, and I don't know what kind of talent he has. He can eat from morning to night, eat all the time, and the key is that he doesn't look full at all. Okay, eat whatever you want today. Liu naturally had no reason to refuse Xiaopang's request. The Rainbow Building covers an area of nearly 10,000 square meters, with nearly 1,000 floors, and this is just from the outside. If you count the space inside, the space added by the space folding technology, the final result is absolutely terrifying. Seeing such a miraculous building, and comparing it with the level of technological development on Earth, Liu always has the urge to be a middleman. Because the system has the ability to connect to the internet infinitely, the Elf Alliance believes that no one can invade the network. In Liu's opinion, it is almost the same as being defenseless. However, at the moment, when this idea appeared, Liu directly killed it in the bud. Let's not talk about the possibility of this matter, just how to sell the technology is a problem. And judging from the current situation on Earth, it is really not optimistic. The Dark Alliance is always eyeing it, and natural disasters are breaking out all over the world. Everything shows that the Earth is facing an unprecedented disaster. In this moment of crisis, what's the use of improving technology to a higher level? Now for Liu, the most important thing is to quickly improve his strength, so that he can deal with various emergencies. Let's not say more for now. Now Liu and his friends are very happy, enjoying the fun of shopping in the Rainbow Building. The reason why men don't like shopping is that they need to carry bags for their girlfriends, and because they have no money in their pockets, which is the most critical factor. But these two factors are not worth mentioning for Liu. The space backpack is a specialty of the magical continent, so it can naturally solve this problem. And even if the space backpack can't fit, Liu has a system world. If there is something that can't even fit in a small world, then don't even think about it. Liu definitely can't afford it. As for the problem of money, don't worry about it. To say that there is not much, but it is still possible to take out tens of millions. He went shopping all the way, from daily food, clothing, housing and transportation to elves related potions and elf balls. He purchased a lot of everything. The most expensive and special one is the elf ball. The elf ball looks very small, but it can hold a large elf inside. There is no doubt that the space folding technology must be used. And according to the quality of the elf ball, the size of the internal space and the decoration are also different. Just like a tile brick house and a high-rise villa, the treatment of high-level elf balls and low-level elf balls is also different. Although Liu's elves don't enter the elf ball very often, it doesn't matter if you buy a few and put them there, and the price is not too expensive. After walking around for a long time, Liu and his friends finally came to the place where they could eat. When they got here, Xiaopang was very happy and bought whatever he saw delicious. After all the hard work of coming here, Liu and his friends naturally couldn't miss the delicious food here, so they had to buy some to taste. Therefore, in the food area of the Rainbow Building, a man, a woman and a child appeared, shopping and eating in one snack bar after another. They had tasted almost every one of them, and no matter how they ate, they didn't look full, which amazed the onlookers on the street. Although Liu felt a little uncomfortable at first about being watched by others, he soon felt relieved. Just watch it, it won't hurt anyway, so what's the problem? As long as you enjoy your meal. Chapter 283 Xiaoan Town. During the one-day trip to the Rainbow Building, Liu and his friends also bought a lot of things, but they were all miscellaneous daily necessities. As for the spirit potion and the like, because the system can be directly exchanged, and the effect is better, Liu did not buy it here. It was not until almost dinner time that Liu and his friends returned to the spirit hospital with a sense of unsatisfied desire. However, they were too full at the Rainbow Building, so they skipped dinner directly. Because they wanted to speed up the progress, they quickly collected the 6th badge, and then went to the Tower of the Strong for the final training. Liu thought that his strength was just average. After all, although the Kanto tournament was only a regional competition, the players participating were from the entire continent. In order to get a decent result in the Kanto tournament, Liu felt that his strength had to be improved by at least one level. And even if he was promoted to an elite trainer, Liu did not have much confidence that he could get any good results. So the most important thing for Liu was to improve his strength to the greatest extent and strive to break through the elite trainer and reach the instructor level. Although it was a bit difficult and even a bit whimsical. But Liu believed that with the help of the cultivation space, if they tried harder, there might be hope. The Rainbow City mission was over, and Liu was in a hurry, so the next day they set off directly to Shinetown, Choshi City. Shinetown is a small town located in the northeastern region of Kanto. To the north is the Rock Mountain Tunnel that leads directly to Rainbow City, to the west is the Golden City, and to the south is the famous Xingshan Diote. Because Shinetown has the Pokémon Tower, a cemetery, there are many visitors and tomb sweepers. In the anime, there are some legends about ghosts in the Pokémon Tower, but the truth is that it is just a Galagala who has been staying in the tower to protect his children, which has caused some misunderstandings about haunted places. But whether it is true or not, Liu wants to go there to see it. As an avid fan of Pokémon, if it is on the way, it would be too unlovable if he does not go to worship. After trekking all the way, Liu and his friends spent several hours and finally crossed the rock tunnel and came to this quiet town. Perhaps because of the existence of the Pokémon Cemetery, the atmosphere of this town is relatively quiet. Unlike other cities, it is very lively with people coming and going. But although it is a quiet town, it is not dead silent, but has a sacred feeling. It is like worshipping the ancestors. Every time I see the cemetery tower, where countless Pokémon are buried, I will feel an inexplicable sadness in my heart. The first time I arrived in Xiaoan Town, Liu and Shilinfei climbed the Pokémon Tower. Following the flowing crowd, Liu and Shilinfei were silent and said nothing. Perhaps they were infected by the surrounding atmosphere, or perhaps they did not want to disturb the souls sleeping here. Huh? What is this? Just when Li Yu saw a tombstone, the message on it caught his attention. After using the system's identification ability, Li Yu actually found Master ZHI. I didn't expect that in other places. The information about Master ZHI was classified as taboo, but here there was a fish that slipped through the net. Looking at the epitaph left by Master ZHI, that is, Xiaozi, for his deceased elf, Li Yu seemed to be able to feel the pain that Zi felt at that time because of losing his Pokémon. Bulbasaur, one of the earliest Pokémons to follow Zi, but according to the epitaph, it was accidentally killed in a battle. However, it is not clear what exactly happened. Perhaps because of some taboo, Zi just mentioned it briefly and did not describe it in detail. Rest in peace. Respectfully bowing 90 degrees, whether it was out of fanatical worship of Zi or out of human sensibility, Li Yu felt that he should do so. After staying for a long time, Li Yu still left the place where Bulbasaur was sleeping and walked towards the top floor of the Pokémon Tower. At a certain moment, Li Yu suddenly had such an idea. Is it right or wrong to open the Pokémon cemetery? On the one hand, these Pokémons accompanied their trainers during their lifetime, fought together, lived together, and it was not wrong to be commemorated and mourned by people after their death. But on the other hand, they are all dead, and they still have to continue to disturb their sleep. Is it really right? Li Yu did not have an accurate answer to this strange idea. Because everything has its two sides, sometimes it is really hard to tell right from wrong. He shook his head and put aside these complicated thoughts. No matter what is right or wrong, at least we are like this now. It is impossible to change it, so let's just go with the reality. Fei, let's take a day off and go to Qianhong City tomorrow. I may be very busy next time and I won't have time to accompany you. I hope you don't mind. Time is getting shorter and shorter, and Li Yu's heart is getting more and more urgent. So the idea of staying for 2 more days was directly wiped out by Li Yu. It is precisely because of this that Li Yu always feels a little ashamed. After all, Linfei follows him everywhere all day long, but he can't accompany her well. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm with you, it doesn't matter where I am. The next day, after bidding farewell to this quiet town, Li Yu and Linfei set sail again, driving the flying skateboard all the way. It's just that, because they need to cross a large wild wilderness area to reach Qianhong City, it takes a long time. If time is not tight, Li Yu really wants to go to the wild wilderness area. If he can meet some rare elves in it, it will be even more wonderful. Wild wilderness area, the largest gathering place for wild elves in the Kanto region. Of course, this refers to those opened by humans, not those that exist in the natural environment. All areas of the wild wilderness area are controlled by the Alliance. As long as you are in it, you will be monitored by the Alliance, so the existence of poachers is avoided. It is also very simple to enter the wild wilderness area. You only need 100,000 Alliance coins to get a place to enter. The officials of the wilderness area will give you 10 wilderness balls, which are elf balls that can only be used in the wild wilderness area. Once you leave this range, it loses the function of conquering elves and is at most an ornamental item. Then you will be randomly teleported to any area of the wild wilderness area. It may be a mountain forest, a lake, a grassland, an ice field, or a desert. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 284, Crimson Gym. There is nothing much to say about the Crimson City. On the second day after arriving here, Li Yu went directly to the Crimson Gym to challenge the gym. The gym leader of the Crimson Gym is called Bear Grylls, a gym level top trainer who is nearly 100 years old. His strength can be said to be very strong. However, since the other party has personally assessed him, Li Yu naturally cannot be timid and directly brought the challenged Pokémon to the Crimson Gym. Hello, Li Yu. I'm the gym leader of the Crimson Gym, Bear Grylls. I guess you should know me, right? Bear Grylls looks only middle-aged and does not look like a 100-year-old man. However, Li Yu is used to such things, so there is nothing strange about it. Hello, Mr. Bear Grylls. I'm very happy that you can come in person. I'm really honored. Next, you must show mercy. Otherwise, my last badge will be gone. The polite courtesy is also out of respect for the other party. After all, Liu does feel a little flattered by Begril's attitude. Young man, you have a bright future. I admire you. Come on, let me see your strength. With that, Begrils took out his first Pokémon, Crossbot. Pokémon, Crossbot attributes, Poison plus Flying qualifications, Diamond level, Silver level 35 features, Penetration effect. When launching a skill, the attack can ignore the opponent's defense shield. Ability, innate skills, Fierce Storm plus Evil Wave. The rest are not activated. Learning skills, Wing Attack plus Strange Light plus Breaking Air Slash plus Stuntman plus Scissor Crossfist. The attributes of Crossbot are basically normal, and there is nothing out of the ordinary. So Liu also quickly thought of a coping strategy, just play normally. Yeah. In response, Liu also took out his Pokeball, and the first Pokémon appeared. Charmer. Use Exploding Flame Fist. As always, it was Charmer. Liu had high hopes for him. Roar. With a roar, Charmer gathered his momentum, and his fists were filled with scorching flames, attacking Crossbot. X-Bat. Wing Attack. Break through the air. Wind blades filled the sky and whistled towards Charmeleon. X-Bat was very skilled in controlling his skills and could launch them very quickly. Boom. With his fists placed on both sides, Charmeleon spewed out a long column of flames, which directly cut a path through the wind blades filled the sky. Swish. Charmeleon flashed through the blank area, perfectly avoiding the obstruction of X-Bat, and directly slammed into X-Bat with his exploding flame fist. Boom boom boom. Once the opportunity was seized, Charmeleon would not let the opponent escape easily, and a series of skills would fall directly on X-Bat. Exploding Flame Fist, Earth Throw, Spray Flame. X-Bat was taken away directly with one set of skills. Well, not bad. But Liu, although your Charmeleon's combo is very strong, it still has a very obvious disadvantage, which is seeing that X-Bat was taken away with one set of skills. Begrils was very interested in explaining the weaknesses of Charmeleon to Liu. As a strong man who is about to advance to the king level, Begrils' vision and knowledge are definitely not comparable to Liu. Oh, I see. Thank you Mr. Begrils for your advice. I will remember it. After the other party's guidance, Liu also benefited a lot, and even Charmeleon was thoughtful. Okay, no more words. Next one. Without saying anything more, Begrils took out a new elf again. After all, he just saw Charmeleon fight around, and no one could see all the problems. Elf, Double Bomb Gas attribute, Poison qualification, Diamond level, Silver level 35 features, Floating effect. The special body structure makes Haunter not affected by ground-based skills. Ability, Talent skill, Poison Mist plus Clear Mist. The rest are not enabled. Learning skill, Stinky Mud Bomb plus Jet Flame plus Big Explosion plus Poison Spike plus Shadow Ball Double Bomb Gas. The overall attribute is very mediocre, and only the defense is relatively outstanding. But in comparison, Charmeleon still occupies a great advantage. Double Bomb Gas, Poison Mist, Stinky Mud Bomb. Since Double Bomb Gas has the skills of Poison Mist and Fog Clearing, it is obviously a support type of poison. And Begrils' command voice also clearly shows this. Charmer, don't give him a chance. Go up. Spray flames. The effect of the Poison Mist skill is very disgusting. It can not only affect Charmer's vision, but also cause him poisoning and corrosion damage. So Liu can't let Double Bomb Gas succeed, and he quickly ordered Charmer to use Spray Flames to interfere with his actions. Sure enough, in order to avoid Charmer's attack, Double Bomb Gas had to give up using skills and move his body to avoid the attack. Roar. Destruction Death Ray. Charmer had expected it, and the Destruction Death Ray was ready, and it also successfully predicted the moving position of Double Bomb Gas, and the Destruction Death Ray was instantly blasted out. Boom boom boom. The power of the Destruction Death Ray was so terrifying that Double Bomb Gas had no chance to react. He was directly blown away, and was also injured twice by the violent energy shockwave. Sure. With another heavy punch, Ghastly followed the footsteps of the Crossbot, and became the second defeated by Charmeleon. That's right, it's as it should be. Wait until it evolves to Charizard. Seeing that Charmeleon still had some flaws in its skills, Begrylls wanted to point them out. However, feeling the aura of Charmeleon's upcoming evolution, he didn't say much. Next one. Pokémon, Haunter attributes, Ghost plus Poison qualification, Diamond level, Silver level 35 features, Floating effect, the special body structure makes Haunter unaffected by ground-based skills. Abilities, innate skills, Hypnosis plus Shadow Clone, the rest are not activated. Learning skills, Curse of the Night plus Shadow Punch plus Shadow Ball plus Venom Attack plus 100,000 volts. As if to accumulate experience for Charmeleon, Begrylls used Pokémon of different types. Because of this, Charmeleon can test its combat awareness in dealing with Pokémon in different states in a battle. Begrylls could also see Charmeleon's weakness, so he gave corresponding guidance to Liu and Charmeleon. In the end, this gym challenge turned out to be like a class where a teacher instructs students. But Begrylls enjoyed it, and Liu also enjoyed the fruits of his labor. Liu was very happy to receive Begrylls' guidance, and naturally would not refuse such a good thing. Chapter 285 Tower of the Strong. Because of Begrylls' whim, Liu's gym challenge turned into a guidance class, where the teacher gave guidance to the students. However, Liu was naturally happy about this. He could get guidance from his predecessors and easily obtain the badge of the Light Red Gym. There was no reason to refuse. Liu, if you want to go to the Tower of the Strong for special training, you'd better be mentally prepared. Although your strength and combat awareness are very strong. But, in that place, you will meet geniuses from all over the continent. If you don't have a good mentality, it's easy to be hit and lose confidence. After the gym challenge, Begrylls took Liu to the gym owner's office and had a long and enthusiastic talk. After hearing Liu's plan, Begrylls' eyes flashed with a strange look, and then he looked at Liu with a weird smile and said, genius? Haha, what can a genius do? If I hadn't started my adventure so recently, I'm afraid I would have reached the gym level long ago. Hearing Begrylls' words, Liu was stunned for a moment and didn't know how to respond for a while, but he was complaining in his heart. And this is not Liu's arrogance. Just relying on the system's upgrade settings, the upgrade speed of Liu's Pokémon is definitely not comparable to those ordinary trainers. And even those family children, even if they have the support of family resources, can improve their strength at a flying speed like Liu. But it is still not enough to compare with Liu, not to mention the system's setting of changing training to improve strength to gaining experience to improve levels. The existence of the vacation space alone makes Charmeleon's upgrade speed reach a perverted level. Well, thank you Mr. Begrylls for reminding me. I will definitely pay attention to it when the time comes. But even if they are stronger than me, it is only temporary. Just give me a year. No, just give me another 3 months. I can far surpass them. The confident expression on his face was undoubtedly revealed, and Liu said loudly with full confidence. Haha. Good. It's good for young people to have confidence and fighting spirit. Hahaha. Seeing that Liu was so confident, he could actually ignore those geniuses. Therefore, Begrylls wanted to see what kind of sparks would collide when the two sides met. After talking with Begrylls for more than 2 hours, Liu returned to the Pokémon hospital with a lot of harvest. This time, Liu not only obtained the Light Red Gym badge, but also made Begrylls a good teacher and helpful friend, which can be said to be a full load. All external affairs have been resolved, so Liu can finally go to the Tower of the Strong without any scruples for the final special training. As for the registration of the Kanto competition, it is very simple to register online through the Pokémon Encyclopedia. But this does not mean that you can register at will. First of all, there is a threshold limit of 6 badges and advanced trainers. Secondly, if you register, but do not participate in the competition, the Alliance will blacklist you. The attitude towards you in the future and various preferential benefits have nothing to do with you. Fei, since you have also inherited the Ice God's legacy, you naturally cannot lose his reputation. So this time, let's train together. It's a good opportunity for me to see your strength. On the way to the Tower of the Strong, sitting in the inner space of the flying skateboard, Liu said to Shilinfei, well, of course. Although my elves never participate in gym competitions, their strength has never fallen. But, let me make it clear first, we can only use 4 elves, otherwise I can't beat you. Hearing Li Yu's provocation, Shilin Fui snorted lightly, raised her head, and looked at Li Yu unconvinced. Ha ha ha. Okay, don't worry. 4 is 4. Don't cry when you lose. Laughing, Li Yu felt that Shilin Fui's arrogant look was particularly cute. Therefore, Li Yu couldn't help but want to tease Shilin Fui to see how she would react. Humph. As expected, just as Li Yu imagined, Shilin Fui ignored Li Yu except for a light snort. But Shilin Fui's silent look gave her the feeling of a wronged young wife. Crimson Lotus Island. In the anime, it is an ordinary island where the gym level trainer Xiaobo lives in seclusion. It is said that Xiaobo once opened a hotel there and dressed very hipster every day to cover up his true identity as the gym leader. There is also a saying that Crimson Lotus Island is a scientific holy land and Mewtwo was cloned on this island. It is even said that there are experiments here that can revive dead Pokémon. However, this statement is obviously unlikely. After all, this is an enemy that the Alliance pays close attention to. The existence of the Tower of the Strong has attracted the Alliance to devote 200% of its attention to protecting the safety of this place. In the Tower of the Strong, nearly hundreds of millions of people come here for training every year. It is conceivable that the existence of the Tower of the Strong provides the Alliance with a huge living force. From this data, we can also see the importance of the Tower of the Strong and the reason why the Alliance pays close attention to it and protects it highly. Therefore, if the Pluto Palace established a branch here, they would never do such a stupid thing unless they were looking for death. However, this is only human nature, and Li Yu naturally cannot escape the guidance of inertial thinking. However, Li Yu did not know what happened. After all, it is possible that the light is dark. When the flying skateboard just arrived at the distance of 10,000 meters from Hanglian Island, it was stopped by the guards. Helplessly Yu could only take back the flying skateboard and boarded the giant ship specially set up by Hanglian Island with Shilin Fui and drove towards Hanglian Island. I didn't expect that Hanglian Island would do this to the extent of guarding work, with a guard every 3 steps and a sentry every 5 steps. Not only can you not drive a private aircraft to the island, but you also need to undergo identity verification if you want to take the giant ship of Hanglian Island. Once you are found to be an abnormal enemy, you will be detained by the guards until your identity is confirmed. Otherwise, you can only laugh. Ha. You are Li Yu. Hello, I'm the captain of the 3rd squad of the Hanglian Island Guard, Gloucester. Nice to meet you. The man who claimed to be Gloucester was stunned after seeing Li Yu's information through the scan, but he quickly recovered and said with a smile, hello. Chapter 286. On the ship of Hanglian Island, Li Yu looked at the man in front of him in astonishment, especially after seeing the attributes of the other party under the system identification. He didn't know what to say in his heart. Gloucester, the captain of the Hanglian Island Guard, but his strength has reached the mentor level, and it is still the peak period of the mentor level. Captain. Mentor level. Just the captain has the strength of the mentor level. What about the captain? What about the commander? Even the strength of the guardian of Hanglian Island? Unbelievably sucking in cold air, Li Yu sighed at the strict guard of Hanglian Island and the strength of the Alliance, and really didn't know how to evaluate. Well, Captain Gloucester, hello. Nice to meet you. Although he saw the surprise in the other party's eyes, Gloucester also recovered quickly, so Li Yu just responded politely. Welcome to Hanglian Island. I hope you have a good time here. Sorry, I still have to patrol routinely and can't entertain you here. Nodding slightly, Gloucester took his teammates and drove the aircraft to the distance. Li Yu, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? Is there anything strange about this, Gloucester? Seeing Li Yu staring at the distant Gloucester city, Shilin Fui asked curiously. Nothing, just a little shocked. Hearing Shilin Fui's voice, Li Yu retracted his gaze and then told his discovery and thoughts. Really? I didn't expect the guards of Hanglian Island to be so terrifying. Mentor level trainers are 1 in a million. After hearing Li Yu's explanation, Shilin Fui also murmured in shock. Although the population of the magical continent is so large that it is impossible to count the exact number of people, However, there are still tens of billions of people, and there may even be more than 100 billion. But among all the trainers, the probability of reaching the mentor level is no more than 1 in 10,000, or even lower. In other words, in the Kingmu town where Liu traveled to, among the hundreds of thousands of people, only a few people can reach the mentor level. If it weren't for the huge population base, how could the Alpha Lions gather so many strong people to guard various regions and important special places? Attention, passengers. Attention, passengers. Ship 213 is about to arrive at Port 10 of Hanglian Island. Please be ready to board the island at any time. Attention, passengers. Attention, passengers. Ship 213 is about to arrive at Port 10 of Hanglian Island. Please be ready to board the island at any time. Not long after, Liu and his companions finally arrived at Hanglian Island. However, because the Kanto tournament was about to start, there were a lot of trainers who came to the Tower of the Strong to train in the same way as Liu planned. So for a while, the ships and ports of Hanglian Island were running at full capacity to carry those trainers to the island. But even so, there was still a feeling of being crowded. Be careful. Following the crowded flow of people, Liu held Shilin for his hand and protected her with his body, fearing that she would be accidentally touched. Yes, with Shilin for his strength, she naturally didn't have to worry about these things. But being able to get Liu's care, Shilin Fui naturally enjoyed it silently. Wow, there are so many people. It seems that this Kanto tournament is not easy to fight. Along the way, while protecting Shilin Fui, Liu also kept using the system's identification ability to check the attributes of those trainers. However, the result made Liu helpless and speechless, because most of the trainers were basically intermediate or advanced, and there were even many elite ones. And these are just ordinary trainers. Those family members will not squeeze into the public ship like Liu. The strength of these family members must be even more terrifying. They were all elite before, and they might even be instructors, or gym level. It's him. Just after stepping onto the land of Hanglian Island, when Liu was about to take Shilin Fui for a walk, he suddenly saw a figure that caught his attention. What's wrong? Liu. Seeing that Liu's eyes were attracted by something again, Shilin Fui asked curiously, and followed his gaze, and saw. It's him. It seems to be called Yu Yu Hakusho, right? Looking at the familiar outfit and the cold attitude of keeping strangers away, Shilin Fui thought for a while, and remembered his name. HMM. I didn't expect him to come too. And, he is so strong. He is indeed a genius of the Yu clan. Nodding, Liu looked at the young man in black clothes and purple mask in the distance, and no one approached him within a radius of 3 meters, and sighed slightly. Compared with Shilin Fui, Liu, who has the system, can see more information. In the attribute panel, Yu Yu Hakusho's strength has reached the peak of advanced trainers. Not only that, the system also specifically reminded Liu that Yu Yu Hakusho already has enough capital to take the elite level assessment, but it is just a few points short of it. But Liu is only at the intermediate level of advanced trainer now. If he wants to upgrade to the peak of advanced trainer, or even break through to the elite level, 1 month is really tight. Let's go. I guess his goal is also the Tower of the Strong. We will definitely meet again then. Now let's go around and see what's so special about this Red Lotus Island. Retracting his gaze, Liu and Shilin Fui walked aimlessly along the sidewalk of Red Lotus Island. Hey, Liu, I want to eat this. By the way, remember to buy more. Xiaopang likes to eat so much, he will definitely like such interesting food. Seeing a gourmet store selling ice cream, Shilin Fui quickly pulled Liu into it and bought 10 servings at once. Ice cream may not be special, but it is made entirely by elves, which is very different. With her cute appearance, the Snow Fairy girl, as a cute doorman, attracted a large number of beautiful girl customers and their boyfriends. Attention. We are just friends. Geometric Snowflake and Double Ice serve as chefs, using ice skills and other raw materials to make delicious ice cream. Finally, the waiter is the burly Sneezing Bear. The 3-meter tall Sneezing Bear pretends to be cute, for fear of scaring away the customers. Little did they know that the difference in Sneezing Bear's body shape and weird expression made him look particularly funny. Even Liu, who had a low sense of laughter, didn't know whether to laugh or cry at this moment. He could only turn his head away and eat his ice cream silently. Chapter 287 Tower of the Strong. While Liu and Qilinfei were wandering around Hanglian Island, the Alliance headquarters, far away in the City of Creation, was inside a mysterious base deep underground. Beep. Target number 1 and target number 2 have arrived at Hanglian Island. It is expected that their target should be the Tower of the Strong. Their current location is. A mechanical voice without any emotion suddenly sounded in the empty room. As the mechanical sound ended, a figure slowly emerged from the darkness. Well, not bad. Although your strength is not outstanding, it is already very good to be able to reach this level in such a short time. It is indeed worthy of being the person who has obtained the position of the Divine Beast Master. The dark shadow covered the face of this person, and only the appearance of this person could be vaguely seen from the shadow. But from his voice, it can be inferred that this person is definitely not an ordinary person. Scan the entire Hanglian Island and find the location of those rats for me. After the figure was silent for a long time, it was unknown what he was thinking, and then he suddenly spoke to the machine in front of him. Beep. The location of the rats has been confirmed. They are located in the Tower of the Strong, the trade building, and the periphery of the Alliance branch. As the mechanical voice sounded again, a light curtain suddenly lit up in the dark room. On the light curtain, the map of Hanglian Island was projected clearly. On the map projection, about a dozen red dots were flashing continuously. Those red dots were located in various locations of Hanglian Island, just as the mechanical voice said. Humph. Rats are rats. There is not a day that they don't want to steal food. In this case, I will play with you and see what you are up to. Because of the light curtain, there was a ray of light in the room, and the figure of the man became clearer. Looking closely, there was a mocking smile on the man's resolute face, and his eyes were also flashing with a cold look. Liu naturally didn't know all this in the Elf Alliance, and even if he knew, he wouldn't care. From the day he accepted the position of the Divine Beast Envoy, he was ready to be monitored. After all, the Divine Beast Envoy is too important to the Elf Alliance, especially the Chaok clan. It was handed over to Liu like this. If no one paid attention to it, that would be a miracle. Fei, look. The two walked slowly on Hanglian Island. Although they walked on their legs, they did not feel any fatigue. And just 3 hours after arriving at Hanglian Island, the two had walked to the east of the island, and this area was, wow, the Tower of the Strong. It's so high. It's just standing tall and piercing the sky in clouds. Turning her head to look at the direction of Liu's finger, Qilinfei saw a huge tower standing in the distance. The Tower of the Strong Hanglian Island is even the most famous place for cultivation in the entire continent. Not only that, because this Tower of the Strong is so high that it reaches the clouds, it is also called the Tower of Babel. What's more shocking is that in addition to the shocking appearance, the space inside the Tower of the Strong is 5 times larger and cannot be measured. As mentioned earlier, the Tower of the Strong is naturally a small world. In addition, humans use space folding technology to transform it, and there are countless layers of space folding. Not only can it accommodate tens of millions of people to practice at the same time, but it can also divide countless spaces and manifest countless projections of elves. This is the basis for trainers to train and challenge in it. The reason why the training effect of the Tower of the Strong is so significant and famous is that it is because the elves are fighting against projections of elves, not the real elves themselves. If they fight against real elves, trainers always try their best. After all, it is always bad if they accidentally kill those elves. In the Tower of the Strong, there is no need to worry about this. The elf projection not only has all the strength of the elves, but also does not have to worry about accidental injuries. Therefore, trainers can fight wholeheartedly, so as to exert the full combat power of the elves, cultivate their own tacit understanding and combat awareness. In addition, they can also play the challenge mode to test their own strength. After the end, they can also get points, enter the leaderboard, and compete with trainers from the entire continent. In short, the benefits of the Tower of the Strong are countless. Only after really entering it and trying it yourself can you clearly understand its benefits. Let's go. Let's go and see the Tower of the Strong. Why does it attract so many trainers to come here? Although the Tower of the Strong is clearly visible, as the saying goes, it takes a long time to reach that place. Yes. Nodding, Shilin attached the spiritual power to her feet. Like Li Yuan quickly flashed in that direction. Because there is no way to practice in the magical continent, let alone magic and martial arts. Li Yu and his friends dare not use magic openly, and can only use this crudest method to use spiritual energy. If it were on Earth, Li Yu only needed to use a spell to take off and fly on a dragon. But the magical continent is different, so they can only go far away. But even so, Li Yu and his friend's speed was not slow. It was as if there was wind under their feet. The figures of the two kept moving in the crowd, driving gusts of cool breeze to blow on passers-by. But when those people looked around, they could only see two figures flashing by, but they couldn't tell who they were. An hour later, Li Yu and Shilin finally stood on the giant square in front of the Tower of the Strong. The Tower of the Strong did not have any management organization, and it was entirely dependent on the mechanical intelligence in the tower to handle all matters. At the bottom, which was the level that Li Yu and the others were looking at now, one metal door after another flashed an illusory light. The bottom floor of the Tower of the Strong covered an area of nearly hundreds of thousands of square meters, and there was a metal door every 10 meters. If a trainer wanted to train or take on a challenge, he could enter through this metal door. Perhaps the number of trainers had been taken into consideration long ago, so there was a metal door every 10 meters on the lowest floor of the tower. This just solved the problem of a large number of people, and it could best play the role of the Tower of the Strong. Let's go. Looking at the bustling crowd around like a market, Li Yu did not have any rejection, but he was still a little uncomfortable with the overly lively environment. Yeah. Because the Tower of the Strong could also accommodate 2 or even more people to train at the same time, Li Yu naturally wanted to go with Shilin. After waiting in line for a while, Li Yu and Shilin arrived in front of the metal door. After scanning the elf encyclopedia on the machine at the door, Li Yu and Shilin walked in slowly. Chapter 288 The Final Special Training. In a certain space inside the Tower of the Strong, at first glance, it was all white, without any breath of life. Sure. The calm space suddenly flashed with a wave, and then 2 figures suddenly appeared. Is this really the Tower of the Strong? Why is there nothing here? Looking at the empty environment around, there was no other color except the misty light. It seems so. Why is there not a single elf? Could it be? Hearing Shilin's complaint, Li Yu smiled awkwardly with the same feeling. However, thinking of the introduction he had seen before, Li Yu had an idea in his mind. Sure. In the void in front of the 2 people, the figure of the fire-breathing dragon suddenly appeared, but the figure of this fire-breathing dragon was a little illusory. Roar. The fire-breathing dragon looked at Li Yu and Shilin in front of him, and suddenly roared, and the majestic momentum surged over. Damn it. What's going on? A projection of an elf dares to be so arrogant. Li Yu was frightened, and immediately lost face. He cursed angrily, and the projection of the fire-breathing dragon disappeared immediately. Li Yu, what are you doing? I'm scared to death. Although Shilin is very powerful, the sudden roar of the fire-breathing dragon still scared her. That's it. An accident. It's definitely an accident. Li Yu felt so wronged. Originally, he thought that the system world was controlled by thoughts, so he thought about the scene in front of him, and had a guess. With a thought in his mind, Li Yu thought about trying it, that is, summoning a projection of the fire-breathing dragon. But who knew that the fire-breathing dragon roared at the 2 of them when it came out, which he did not expect. I just wanted to try it, but who knew it would be like this? So, you can't blame me. After telling Shilin about his guess, Li Yu said that it was just an accident and had nothing to do with me. HMPH. After listening to Li Yu's explanation, although Shilin was also attracted by the magical setting of the Tower of the Strong, she still didn't give Li Yu a good look. After the farce ended, Li Yu and Shilin began their own training. Charmer, Double-Edged Meru, Ocean, Xiaobei, Yangela, Gyarados, Metal Monster, Violent Salamander. Everyone come out. It's time to start a new training. 8 elves, the strongest elves that Li Yu has captured since he crossed over and cultivated with great effort. Roar. As soon as the elves appeared, they roared together. The sound seemed to be able to break through the space, and the surrounding foggy environment was shaken to produce a slight fluctuation. This time, Liu was determined to upgrade to the elite level. Otherwise, he would not have the confidence to participate in the Kanto competition. In that case, EV, 3D Dragonite, Slowpoke, and Glacial, you guys come out too. Seeing that Liu had released all his Pokémons, and Charmeleon and the others were all aggressive and energetic, Linfei naturally couldn't let down her spirit. After all, the two of them still had an appointment to fight. If she let down her spirit now, wouldn't it show that she was not as strong as Liu? By the way, we finally came here, so we naturally can't leave Xianapang behind, and we can also cultivate the tacit understanding between him and Butterfree. Suddenly thinking of Xianapang and the 3 Pokémons who were close to him, Liu suddenly had an idea, and the figures of Xianapang and the 3 Pokémons also appeared. Butterfree, Scyther, Zoroark. Although these 3 Pokémons have voluntarily combined with Xianapang and become the relationship between trainer and Pokémon. But because Xianapang's telekinesis is still small, they have not trained together many times. Now, with Liu's permission, Xianapang finally doesn't have to go to boring classes anymore, and can train with Butterfree and the others, and he jumped up with joy. Haha, you are such a kid. Although he said so, Liu was also very happy to see Xianapang's sincere Xianapang. Okay, since we are here, we must train hard. After talking to Linfei and Xianapang, Liu took his 8 elves, occupied an area, and prepared to start training. Then Xianapang, you have to work hard too. Seeing Xianapang seriously directing Butterfree's training, Linfei smiled slightly and said that she would also take Bingling and the others to train. Charmer, your current task is to evolve into Charizard, so your training is to defeat him. As he said that, Liu moved his mind, and the Charizard projection appeared again, but the momentum of this Charizard projection was extremely strong. If converted into the system level, it is at least to gold level 40 or above. Raw. I will definitely win. Feeling the strength of the Charizard projection, Charmer had a flash of fear in his heart. But he quickly got rid of this fear and roared at the Charizard projection. Yeah. Looking at Charmeleon's appearance, Liu nodded secretly in his heart. Charmeleon's training had been chosen, and it was their turn next. Double-Edged Meru, you. Gyarados, you. Yangtara, you. One by one, Liu took turns to set training plans for them. Then he stood quietly, looking at the elves who were training in the distance. Raw. Jet flames. Charmeleon saw the pillar of fire mixed with purple flame sprayed by Charizard, and then felt the temperature of the flames, and a cautious look flashed in his eyes. Boom boom boom. But Charmeleon had no fear at all. As the energy gathered quickly, it also sprayed a long pillar of fire, and collided with it in midair. The explosion resounded in the space, but Charmeleon's attack was directly crushed by the attack of Charizard's projection. The more powerful jet of flames directly broke Charmeleon's attack, and then attacked Charmeleon directly. Raw. Come again. He stood up unwilling to admit defeat. Even though his whole body was about to fall apart from the impact, Charmeleon still insisted on standing up, and continued to rush forward to fight with Charizard. Charmeleon was training, Dual-Edged Meru was training, and Brawlhalla was training. All of Liu's Pokémon were training hard. Not only to improve their own strength, but also for the common goal with Liu, to become stronger. Become stronger. EV. Your current strength has been slightly improved, and your dual personality has gradually been controlled, so your current training is to learn to cooperate. Looking at the black and white hair on Eevee's body, Linfei nodded with satisfaction. Although you can successfully separate the second body, the cooperation between the two bodies has not reached the strongest, and you can't exert your full strength at all. So the most important thing is to learn to cooperate. If you can perfectly control yourself, or even control the opponent, your strength will definitely be terrifying. Thinking of the battle, Eevee directly separated two bodies and evolved into the sun form and the moon form at the same time. The strength exerted by the cooperation of the two is simply unimaginable. Chapter 289, Linfei's Spirit Training. According to Liu's suggestion, Linfei clearly understood the attributes of Eevee, and therefore understood how to bring out the full potential of Eevee. Name, Eevee attributes, Psychic plus Dark qualification. Legendary level. Silver level 35. 48% features. Dual personality effect. Due to special reasons, the body has a dual personality, and the personalities of the two personalities are completely opposite. Ability. Talented skills. Yin and Yang split. Create a second body and split the personality into it. The two bodies have the same mind, thus exerting a stronger power. Opened. Sun form. Skills. Burning sun power. Exclusive skill of Eevee's sun form. Fire breathing. Spray out flames to attack the opponent. Mysterious power. Use mysterious power to attack. The specific effect is unknown. Illusion. Launch an illusion attack, causing the opponent to fall into an illusion entangled state. Reversing the sun and moon. The sun form and the moon form simultaneously launch their exclusive skills, thus forming a terrifying combined attack skill. Reversing the sun and moon. Not fully mastered. Moon form. Skills. Dark moon power. Eevee's exclusive skill in the moon form. Strange light. Concentrates spiritual power into substance. Emits strange light and causes phantom attacks. Feint. Uses false attack moves to confuse the opponent, greatly increasing the chance of hitting. Shadow clone. Creates a shadow clone by controlling one's own shadow. Reversing the sun and moon. The sun form and the moon form simultaneously launch their exclusive skills, thus forming a terrifying combined attack skill. Reversing the sun and moon. Not fully mastered. At this time, Eevee has broken the shackles of race from its attributes, thus forming a new existence. Not only has its strength increased by leaps and bounds, but even its innate characteristics and Pokémon skills have undergone earth-shaking changes. If it weren't for the fact that Eevee's appearance can still be seen as the original, and its skills still have the shadow of its own race, I'm afraid no one can tell Eevee's race. Slowpoke. Although your strength has reached the silver level, your talent is not as good as Eevee's. So you need to train harder and strive to evolve into a Slowpoke as soon as possible, or even evolve into a Hippoking. Only in this way can you break through the limitations of your talent and improve your potential. Only in the future can you reach the legendary realm and learn the ability of super evolution. Linfei is still very attentive to Slowpoke, and naturally she has to think about him carefully. Name. Slowpoke attributes. Water plus psychic qualifications. Diamond level. Silver level 35 level 45% features. Regeneration effect. Has a strong recovery ability. Can quickly restore physical strength and recover from injuries. Abilities. Talented skills. Frozen wind. Makes the field blow with icy cold wind and can even cause frostbite to the opponent. Enabled. Magic coat. Rebound all abnormal state attack skills. Enabled. Jet flame. Attack the opponent with scorching flames and can cause the opponent to enter a burnt state. Enabled. Water column tail. Swing the tail like a violent sea wave, attacking the opponent with force. Enabled at level 45. Skills to learn. Yawn plus Shadow Clone plus Illusion Attack plus Mind Hammer plus Freeze Ray. Although Slowpoke's strength is not bad, its talent is a little insufficient, and it is still much weaker than the other Pokémon. Hey. Although Slowpoke usually looks lazy and likes to sleep and eat every day, it is still very concerned about its future. Yeah. Seeing that Slowpoke can do this, Linfei nodded with satisfaction. 3D Dragon Second. Your attributes are quite special. You were born from an accident, but this is also your advantage. Although the general attributes will not gain attribute restraint bonus when fighting against other Pokémon, it will not be restrained either. 3D Dragon Second's attributes are general, so there are both regrets and advantages. So what Linfei has to do is to play the advantages and make up for the regrets. But, although 3D Dragon Second can't speak, it can clearly express its meaning by controlling the radio waves. Finally, Bingling, you and I are contracted elves, so I will be more attentive to your training and will never let down the inheritance of the predecessors. Looking at the imposing Bingling in front of her and thinking of the fact that she was saved by the previous generation of Ice God when she was about to die, Linfei secretly made up her mind to fulfill the promise she made when she inherited the Ice God. Do her best to find the contracted elf, that is, Bingling, and defend the peace of the magical continent to the death. Fenny, I will work hard with you. Perhaps because of its special nature, Bingling can speak human language. Feeling the firmness in Shilinfu's tone, Bingling also said with a serious face, "Well, your practice is also my practice. The inherited power in the Ice God Ring has not been fully assimilated, so we only need to assimilate it completely now. The previous generation of Ice God focused all his strength on the Ice God Ring. Therefore, Shilinfu and Bingling's practice only needs to comprehend and assimilate energy. That's it. Everyone, train well. I look forward to your performance." After saying this in an encouraging way, and also to cheer herself up, Shilinfu took Bingling and found a random place to start training. But Shilinfu and Bingling looked at each other, and suddenly two Ice God Rings suddenly appeared, rotating and intersecting in midair. Hua hua hua. As the Ice God Rings rotated rapidly, the energy originally stored in them also slowly flowed out from them, and then flowed into the bodies of one person and one elf. Shilinfu's training was roughly like this, so I won't go into too much detail. The scene shifted to Xiaopang. Butterfield Butterfree, Scyther, Zorok. How do you think we should train? Although Xiaopang was also asked by Liu to train with 3 elves, he was still young after all, so how could he understand these things? It's not that Liu didn't pay attention, but he suddenly came to the Tower of the Strong and was eager to start training, so Liu forgot about Xiaopang. Baba Bay. This is how I trained before. Hearing Xiaopang's question, Butterfree circled around him, as if Xiaopang had a special attraction. TSK. I also trained like this. After Butterfree finished speaking, Scyther also waved its double blades with cold light flashing, and narrated lightly. And me. Although Zorok has evolved, his mind is still not fully mature, and he still has a childishness. Ah. So troublesome. Really, training is so boring, it's even worse than my studies. Hearing the narration of the 3 elves, Xiaopang sat on the ground with a look of despair on his face, shouting loudly. Chapter 290, Evolution Together. After finally being able to stay with the elves, Xiaopang screamed to the sky after hearing Butterfree's narration. Well, why don't we go play? How about it? Butterfree, Scyther, Zorok, what do you think? Xiaopang glanced at Liu and saw that he was seriously training with the elves. Suddenly, a cunning flashed in his eyes, and he said to the 3 elves secretly, Bay. Okay, I'll play with you. Butterfree has the most innocent personality, so he has the closest relationship with Xiaopang, and has no objection to Xiaopang's proposal. TSK. I have no objection. Scyther naturally has no problem, as long as he can stay with Xiaopang, it's fine. SSSS. I have no objection either. Seeing that the 3 elves have no objection, Xiaopang became bolder and secretly glanced at Liu again, and then Xiaopang sneaked out with the 3 elves. Because the Tower of the Strong can control everything with just a thought, Xiaopang disappeared from the Tower of the Strong in an instant. There is no need to say much about the specific training. In short, it is fighting. Fighting again. Every day, Liu and his team kept fighting with the elf projection in the Tower of the Strong. At night, they returned to the system world and consolidated their strength through the training space. After training day after day, Charmeleon and Double-Edged Pill finally successfully evolved into their final form on the 5th day. And it was very coincidental that the time of evolution was when Charmeleon and Double-Edged Pill were fighting. That day, after several days of training, Charmeleon was having a park duel with Double-Edged Pill. Suddenly, Charmeleon felt that some kind of power was about to awaken, and he used Purgatory of Fire directly. Purgatory of Fire. This skill is the predecessor of the awakening skill of the Fire Elves, Oath of Flame. To successfully super evolve and master the awakening skills, understanding Purgatory of Fire is the most basic requirement. At that moment, Charmeleon suddenly used the skill, Purgatory of Fire, and the devastating attack rushed directly to the Double-Edged Meru. But what shocked everyone was that just after Charmeleon used Purgatory of Fire, Double-Edged Meru seemed to have reached a certain limit, and the power in his body surged out. Water Spirit Cage. The skill, Water Spirit Cage, like Purgatory of Fire, is also the predecessor of the awakening skill of Water Spirits. Boom 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 boom. The horrible attack collision and the roaring sound shocked Liu, who fell into a state of temporary hearing loss. The strong shock wave swept the surrounding calm space, and ripples also appeared. The corners of Li Yu's clothes were also rustling, tightly attached to his body. But the dazzling white light lasted for a full minute, until Li Yu's excitement had calmed down, and the white light slowly fell. Roar, roar. 2 excited roars sounded, and then 2 huge spirits appeared. A pair of huge flash wings flickered, the muscular body was knotted, and the sharp claws flashed with cold light. The ferocious dragon had sharp eyes, and the powerful momentum revealed. The strength of the fire-breathing dragon can be seen. On the ground, a strange big sword ghost was standing on 2 feet, and its 2 front paws were tightly holding 2 purple blades. The purple blades looked as if they were made by nature, without any traces of human production. More importantly, the shadow of the dragon was looming on the blade, and the roar of the dragon was also faintly heard. Roar. Purgatory of fire. The fire-breathing dragon looked at the big sword ghost that had also evolved, and a gleam of light flashed in its sharp eyes, and the attack was condensed again. The golden red flame revealed an overwhelming temperature, as if it could burn everything. The sky was full of flames, encircling the big sword ghost. Roar. Water spirit cage. A slight smile flashed across the corners of the great sword ghost's mouth. The double blade swung in front of him, leaving countless after images. Then a huge water ball gradually appeared and counterattacked Charmeleon. Puff. The surging fire purgatory collided with the water ball, just like a mud cow entering the sea, and the flames were directly swallowed by the water ball. But, goo 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 goo. The great sword ghost naturally would not think that Charizard's attack had been offset by him, and what happened next also verified his idea. The water ball was calm from beginning to end, seemingly without any threat, but it directly swallowed Charizard's strongest attack. And then, the water ball suddenly seemed to be boiled, constantly boiling and surging, and the shape of the water ball was constantly changing. Boom boom boom. As if it had reached its limit, the water ball suddenly exploded, but it did not scatter, but burned violently. What shocked everyone, even all the elves, was that after the water ball exploded, it actually burned like gasoline fuel, blazing with flames. Chi-chi-chi. But what's even more strange is that when the flames are burning, they occasionally make a hissing sound, as if the fire is being extinguished. Just like that, Charizard and Blade's first attack after evolution ended with a strange change. Congratulations, Charizard, Blade, you finally evolved. Seeing that the 2 elves finally evolved completely, Li Yu walked forward excitedly. Seeing the 2 elves' majestic and domineering appearance, he immediately laughed and said, "Roar." The 2 elves also responded to Li Yu's excited roar. "Roar. You finally evolved. Great." The other elves also gathered around and congratulated their companions. On the other side, after seeing Li Yu's elf evolve, Shilinfree also came over with her own elf. But after seeing Charmeleon and Blade, Slowpoke suddenly became silent and a little depressed. Slowpoke, don't be discouraged. You are only 1 step away from evolving. As long as you keep working hard, you will be able to be the same as them soon. Without going up to congratulate Li Yu first, Shilinfree came over to comfort and encourage Slowpoke, after seeing the abnormality of Slowpoke. Hey, yeah, I can do it. Encouraged by Shilinfree, Slowpoke was silent for a while, and finally regained his high morale. After speaking firmly to Shilinfree, Slowpoke turned around, and went back to the training place to start training again. Yeah. Come on. Slowpoke. Looking at the figure of Slowpoke training silently, Shilinfree smiled knowingly, and cheered herself up in her heart. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 291, The Yulong Brothers Plan. Seeing the finally evolved Charizard and Great Sword Demon, Shilinfree was happy for Li Yu and said, "Li Yu, congratulations on getting 2 great generals. But I won't lose to you." Hearing Shilinfree's congratulations, Li Yu was still very happy to share the joy with her. But who knew that Shilinfree's tone changed in a blink of an eye, which made Li Yu speechless. Fifi, where is Xianpang? Why don't I see him? Suddenly, as if she had discovered something, Li Yu also threw away the uncomfortable feeling and asked anxiously, "Huh? Xianapang?" Hearing Li Yu's question, Shi Linfei was stunned at first, but after reacting, she said more excitedly than Li Yu, "Xianapang. Xianapang. Where have you been? Li Yu, where is Xianapang?" Shi Linfei explored the entire void space with her divine sense, but she did not find Xianapang's figure. "Don't worry, I'll think of a way." Li Yu was a little worried when he didn't expect Xiaopang to disappear suddenly, but he was more rational. Because Li Yu knew Xiaopang's ability very well, it would definitely only cause trouble for others. The power of the Yuanling, listen to my command. Search. Holding Xiaopang's hair in his hand, Li Yu directly used the search method given to him by Xianai to find Xiaopang's trace. But, as the spiritual energy continued to be consumed, a picture gradually appeared in front of Li Yu. The picture became clearer and clearer, and finally it was as clear as if he was there. The picture first showed the interior space of the Tower of the Strong, and Xiaopang was whispering something with 3 elves. And because Li Yu seemed to be there, he could hear what was said clearly. Hearing Xiaopang say that he wanted to sneak out to play, Li Yu was not only angry, but also very amused. But then the picture changed again, and then showed the scene on Hanglian Island. Xiaopang brought 3 elves, holding the gold card stolen from Li Yu, and then corrupted the entire Hanglian Island. All kinds of eating, drinking and having fun. They were having a great time. Seeing Xianapang and the 3 elves playing happily, Li Yu breathed a sigh of relief, but was thinking about how to punish him. Xianapang, who was far away in the outside world, didn't know what kind of disaster was waiting for him. Now Xianapang was eating the snacks in his hand happily. In the end, Xianapang was finally carried back to the Tower of the Strong by Li Yu. Inevitably, Xianapang was beaten up by Shi Linfei and Li Yu. "After you teach me, I will come, and after I teach you, you will come." After a series of sermons, Li Yu and the others let go of the pitiful Xianapang. Although he was scolded, Xianapang was not unhappy at all, but was very happy. Because Li Yu and Shi Linfei actually agreed to let him go out and play for an hour every day. As long as he trained well, he could have an hour of fun every day. Xianapang naturally agreed to this, and even wished for it. Time passed slowly. During the month in the Tower of the Strong, Li Yu and Shi Linfei never went out, but devoted themselves to training. As for eating, drinking, and sleeping, they were easily solved by Li Yu. After all, with the existence of the system, what can you eat? With the existence of the system world, are you afraid of having no place to live? It's nothing for Li Yu and Shi Linfei not to go out, but it's hard for you Langzuns. Some people may ask, what does Li Yu's training in the Tower of the Strong have to do with you Langzuns? This should start from the day Li Yu set foot on Hanglian Island. It turns out that, since Li Yu and his friends landed on the island, Yu Langzuns has known their whereabouts. Yu Langzuns can remember the battle with Li Yu vividly, but for him, it is a shameful memory. Therefore, through the power of the Yu Lang clan, Yu Langzuns is always monitoring Li Yu's whereabouts, and has always wanted to retaliate, and even humiliate Li Yu severely. The Kanto tournament is about to start. Yu Langzuns has the idea of participating in the competition, because he has broken through to the advanced trainer level. But not to mention, that his cousin Yu Lang Mochin is also participating in the competition. With his advanced trainer level, he has no hope of getting any good results. Therefore, with the same purpose as Li Yu, Yu Langzuns also wants to come to the Tower of the Strong to train. Not only that, because his cousin Yu Lang Mochin also came here to train, Yu Langzuns even thought of borrowing someone else's hand to teach Li Yu a good lesson. And the reason why he went to Li Yu in the first place was because he listened to Yu Lang Mochin's instigation. Now he wants to take revenge on Li Yu, and Yu Lang Mochin is the last resort. Damn guy. He actually hid in the Tower of the Strong for a month. What a coward. Trash. When he learned from his subordinates again that Li Yu still had no news, Yu Langzuns cursed. If Li Yu knew Yu Langzuns' thoughts, he would definitely sneer. How can a sparrow know the ambition of a swan? I was concentrating on training, so why am I afraid of you? Zuns, what are you doing out there again? The competition is about to start, and you agreed to let me guide your training, but you run out every day. Do you still want to participate in the Kanto competition? Seeing Yulong Zun's coming back with a frustrated face, Yulong Mochan was puzzled at first, but then he started to scold him. Cousin. Yulong Zun's was entangled, not knowing whether to tell him about Liu. But in the end, it seemed that he had made up his mind, and Yulong Zun said directly, Cousin. Liu has also come to Hanglian Island, and is now training in the Tower of the Strong. Cousin, Liu is so hateful, don't you have any ideas? Although Yulong Zun's wanted to say that you asked me to teach Liu a lesson, so you must have had a dispute. In this case, don't you want to cause trouble for him? But this kind of word can't be said directly. After all, it seems that Yulong Mochan is too narrow-minded. Even if it is really narrow-minded, it can't be said directly. Well, Liu, the master of the divine beast. Hearing Yulong Zun's words, Yulong Mochan was stunned at first, but quickly returned to normal. However, his heart was churning. Zun's, the reason I asked you to cause trouble for him was just to test his strength. How can you be so petty? However, the dignity of the Yulong clan cannot be trampled upon. Since he dared to provoke the Yulong clan, I can't sit idly by. Don't worry, it would be fine if he doesn't participate in the Kanto competition this time. If he dares to participate, I will definitely teach him a lesson. Let him know how powerful my Yulong clan is. Chapter 290 to Liu vs Shilin 3. Yulong Mochan is a man of deep scheming. He not only pushed all the previous disputes onto Yulong Zun's, but also escalated a small conflict to the dignity of the family. In this way, not only was Yulong Zun's, the idiot, fooled, stunned, but he also had a good reason to teach Liu a lesson in the future. Yes, we must teach him a lesson, otherwise where is the dignity of our Yulong family? Passionately, Yulong Zun seemed to be the embodiment of justice and the spreader of light, and Liu was the devil of evil. Haha, idiot. Although he smiled on the surface, Yulong Mochan mocked and despised him in his heart. If Yulong Zun knew that he was a fool in the eyes of his adored cousin, I wonder how he would react. Liu. Wait. I guess you came to this Red Lotus Island to participate in the Kanto competition. But, with me here, you can't expect to succeed. Even more, I will let everyone know that choosing you to inherit the position of the Divine Beast Master is a wrong decision. Only me, only the genius of my Yulong clan, Yulong Mochan is the son of destiny. The burning light in his eyes flashed, and Yulong Mochan thought excitedly. Liu naturally didn't know the thoughts of the two brothers Yulong Mochan and Yulong Zun's, and even if he knew, he wouldn't have any reaction. For him, these two people are just stepping stones on the road to becoming a strong man, not even passers-by. A month has passed, and now Liu has already changed again, and his strength naturally cannot be calculated, based on the previous impression. Liu, how is it? The training is over, and it's time for us to fulfill our agreement, right? I want to experience the strength of the Divine Beast Master. After more than a month of training, Shilin's strength will naturally not be without progress. Thinking of Liu teasing her before, Shilin wanted to prove herself to Liu. Haha, sure. But don't cry if you lose. Haha. Shilin's strength was seen at a glance. Although she was shocked and envious, she didn't feel unhappy at all. Heavenly rank 6. This is what Shilin gained from 1 month of practice, and she has improved by 3 small ranks. Don't think that 3 small ranks are few. It depends on the premise. After reaching the heavenly rank, it is difficult to improve by 1 small rank. Without several years of hard work, it is absolutely impossible to make progress. Even those geniuses need at least 1 year to improve. But Shilin has directly improved by 3 small ranks in just 1 month. You have to know that Liu has just improved to the peak of the Earth rank. There was a big gap of 2 levels between the two, so Liu could not help but feel envious and jealous. HMPH. Come out. 3D Dragon Z. Seeing Liu teasing her again, Shilin rolled her eyes at Liu, snorted, and released her first Pokémon. Name. 3D Dragon Z attribute, general qualification, legendary level, gold level 45, 78% features, tracking effect, the attack will automatically track the opponent, but there is a time limit. Ability, talent skill, transformation, the attribute of the self will become the corresponding attribute of the learned skill. Enabled. Illusion. Through the battery wave, affect the opponent's brain to produce hallucinations. Enabled. Pain sharing. Share the damage suffered by the self with the opponent equally. Enabled. Blizzard. Summon a blizzard today to destroy all enemies. Enabled. Learning skills. Destruction death ray plus sunlight flame plus triangle attack plus magic coat plus electromagnetic cannon. All Pokémon have basically learned all the skills when they reach level 40. In the subsequent training journey, all you can do is to try your best to comprehend the power of super evolution. As for external objects such as skills, they are just moves. Skills are actually the form of using power, but through skills, you can exert stronger power. When the moves are already common, and basically all level 40 elves can learn them, the so-called powerful skills, the difference is the comprehension and control of super evolution. Elves who can access super evolution can double their strength, or even exert it several times. Elves who cannot access super evolution will become ordinary. However, super evolution is not so easy to comprehend. Among the tens of billions of elves, no more than 10% can comprehend super evolution, and no more than 1% can successfully control super evolution. Some elves have not even learned all the skills, but are blocked on the road to becoming strong, because of the limitation of qualifications. In this case, I won't bully you, Charizard, come out. This is indeed true. Although Charizard is extraordinary, 3D Dragon Z is also incomparable to ordinary elves. As mentioned before, 3D Dragon is an elf that was accidentally produced in a scientific experiment. Since it is an accident, it is uncontrollable. Therefore, the number of 3D dragons is very rare on the entire continent. Moreover, scientists have not studied how 3D dragons evolve very thoroughly. However, with the help of the system, Liu used the system's ability to guide Lin Fei to help 3D Dragon successfully evolve. Now, it has completed the more difficult communication evolution, allowing 3D Dragon Second to evolve into its final form. 3D Dragon Z. So let's not talk about 3D Dragon Z's powerful special attack talent for the time being. His rarity alone is not comparable to Charizard. Of course, rarity does not mean that he must be strong, and a large number does not mean that his strength must be weak. Strong and weak, rare and popular, are just relative. The reason why I say so much is that the strength of 3D Dragon Z is not weaker than Charizard at all, at least it is comparable. Name, Charizard attributes, Fire plus Dragon qualification, Epic level, Gold tier 46, 37% features, Fire blessing effect, in an environment where fire element gather, amplify attacks and absorb the opponent's fire attack ability, talented skills, Dragon dance, dance the mysterious dance that the Dragon clan does not pass on, increase your attack and speed. Already enabled, explosive flame flash, wrap the whole body with flames and attack the opponent, and you will also suffer considerable damage. There is a chance to burn the opponent. Already enabled, flame dragon rush, gather the strength of the whole body and attack the opponent continuously and violently. Already enabled, dragon god dive, release terrifying murderous aura and hit the opponent at the same time. Sometimes it will make the opponent timid. Already enabled at level 50, learning skills, flame dragon breaking the air slash plus destruction death light plus jet flame plus fire purgatory plus 1 month training on the planet. Charmeleon not only successfully evolved into the form of a Charizard, but also raised its strength level to level 46. Chapter 293, Purgatory of Fire. The elves of both sides took their positions. Charizard fluttered its wings and faced 3D Dragon Z from a distance in midair. 3D Dragon Z. Use transformation. Transformation skills are completely bug-like. As long as the attribute and the skill has been learned, 3D Dragon Z can change to that attribute through transformation. In this way, Lin Fei's 3D Dragon Z can become 5 attributes: Psychic, Ice, Fire, Electric, and Fairy. In this way, 3D Dragon Z is not only immune to many attribute restraints, but can also restrain the opponent's elves in turn, thereby exerting its own strength beyond normal. But 3D Dragon Z's form slowly changed, and the color of its body surface turned to fiery red, which means that his attribute has changed to fire. Haha, what a good talent skill. But even so, Charizard. Explosive flame flash attack. Since 3D Dragon Z has become a fire attribute, Liu will naturally not let Charizard use fire skills to fight, otherwise it will not only have little effect, but also waste energy. Swish, swish, swish. After evolving into Charizard, his speed suddenly increased several times. But this is understandable. After all, one uses legs and the other uses, how can they be the same? As the wings flickered, Charizard's speed became faster and faster, and the energy was slowly attached to the wings, making the wings like blades. Swish, swish, bang. The wings attached with energy were powerful and fierce, and they slapped 3D Dragon Z fiercely. Swish, bang. 3D Dragon Z's body was about the size of a basketball, while Charizard was larger than a car, and its wings were as big as a small airplane. When the two collided, 3D Dragon Z was blown away without any resistance, and then fell straight to the ground. But 3D Dragon Z was obviously not easy to deal with. Even if it completely took the damage from the explosive fire attack, 3D Dragon Z still seemed to have no feeling at all. Invisible electromagnetic force surged out, and the figure of 3D Dragon Z slowly rose to the air. A code flashed in the red eyes, and 3D Dragon Z's attack slowly condensed. Triangle attack. A red, blue, and yellow triangle array appeared out of thin air, and then 3 attacks of different colors emerged from the triangle. As these 3 attacks continued to move forward, they gradually merged into a white energy column. As the 3 attacks merged, the power revealed became even more powerful. Although I don't know why the fusion of red, blue, and yellow can produce white. But now is not the time to study. Charizard. Spray flames. Escape is not Charizard's character, not to mention that he doesn't need to escape at all. Roar. Under Liu's command, Charizard's energy gathered in his mouth, and with a roar, a long column of golden red flames spewed out of his mouth. This seems to be spitting? Isn't that a bit rude? Seeing Charizard's attack, Liu actually had wild thoughts, and this brain hole was really, there was a hole in his head. Boom boom boom. The 2 attacks collided, but what shocked Liu was that Charizard's attack actually had a tendency to be suppressed. Boom. Just as Liu was shocked, 3D Dragon Z's attack came again, with a hazy illusion attack. Illusion. Although Charizard has a strong mental power and will not be trapped by illusions. But this does not mean that Charizard can be completely immune to illusion attacks. Bang. After just a moment of slowness, the illusion hit Charizard. But to Shilinfo's regret, the illusion was not a powerful skill. Even with 3D Dragon Z's current strength, the power was a bit disappointing. Roar. Destruction Death Ray. Charizard, with its strong character, naturally could not tolerate being attacked, and immediately roared, and launched a terrifying Destruction Death Ray. Boom. The terrifying energy impact, carrying the power of destruction, instantly came to 3D Dragon Z then. In the astonished eyes of 3D Dragon Z, the destructive death light directly lifted it up. Charizard. Flame Dragon Rush. Thinking of taking the opportunity to kill 3D Dragon Z, Liu quickly directed Charizard. Sure. With a flash of his figure, Charizard disappeared from his original position, and in the blink of an eye, he caught up with 3D Dragon Z who was flying backwards. Bang. The latest talent skill, Flame Dragon Rush. Charizard was like a meteorite falling from the sky, and its huge body directly hit 3D Dragon Z. Ugh. But what Liu and Charizard did not expect was that although the attack clearly hit 3D Dragon Z, Charizard seemed to be electrocuted, and its figure paused and fell to the ground. With his mind flashing quickly, Liu quickly figured out the original. Pain sharing. Sharing the damage suffered by oneself with the opponent equally. It was because 3D Dragon Z had used the skill of pain sharing at some point, so Charizard was caught off guard and suddenly suffered a counter-attack and lost its balance. Charizard. Cheer up. But now is not the time to think about these things. If it falls to the ground like this, coupled with the reflected damage, Charizard will definitely not feel good. Roar. Charizard, who was a little confused, seemed to hear a familiar voice. Slowly opening his eyes, Charizard felt that his body was falling at a very fast speed. Boom. However, before Charizard could control his balance, the attack came again, and he had no time to react. Charizard's body, which was originally falling, suddenly turned and flew away. And on its body, countless electric lights flashed and spread. It turned out that when Charizard was concentrating the attack of Yanlong Kuangchang, Shi Linfei secretly commanded 3D Dragon Z to use pain sharing. Originally, this was just to prevent Charizard from continuing to attack, but I didn't expect the effect to be so obvious, directly reversing the current situation. Shi Linfei would not miss this opportunity. When Charizard fell to the ground, she quickly asked 3D Dragon Z to use the electromagnetic cannon skill. Roar, roar. The body fell to the ground fiercely. The anger in his heart prompted Charizard to struggle to stand up. The sound came out of his throat like the low roar of a beast. But, Dragon Dance. After evolving into the form of Charizard, Dragon Dance was no longer jumping around like a lunatic. It was as if the blood power was boiling. The hot blood in Charizard's body rushed rapidly, and the strength and momentum also slowly increased. Roar. Fire Purgatory. Without Liyu's command, Charizard acted on its own. Selectively condensed the strongest skill, Fire Purgatory. The power of this skill is definitely the most powerful of all the skills of Charizard now. If this attack hits, 3D Dragon Z will definitely lose. 3D Dragon Z. Can't give up. Blizzard. Chapter 294. The Power of the Fire-Breathing Dragon. The Zuan clan's treasure house is a delicate pagoda with more than 10 floors. There is no guard outside the tower, but no one dares to underestimate the safety here. When you walk into the first floor of the treasure house, you will see an old man lying on a recliner beside him with his eyes closed, motionless like a dead person. Without saying a word, the elder bowed respectfully to the old man, and then took Liu to the second floor. As for the others, they could only wait on the first floor. Liu. We also have a lot of energy containing items you want, but because we don't know what they are, we can only put them here. Of course, you can also choose items from other floors. When they came to the 5th floor, the elder pointed to the various strange items randomly placed on the surrounding shelves, and explained to Liu. Well, thank you, elder. After thanking him, Liu began to search carefully here. Because he had the ability to identify, Liu felt that he might be able to find some good things. However, after searching for a long time, although Liu also found some good things, it was not worth wasting this opportunity. For example, magic crystals contain a lot of magic energy, which can be absorbed by spirits such as ghosts and spirits to enhance their strength. There are also dragon bloodstones, which contain a lot of violent energy, because they are stained with dragon blood, but they are not something that ordinary people can use. These things may be very useful, but I don't know when they can be used. And it's not worth wasting. I exchanged 5 places for 20 million top grade spirit stones. Item, Spirit Gem Introduction, a mysterious gem from the depths of the universe, which contains a huge amount of spiritual power, but is bound in the gem by unknown energy. This looks good. Seeing the information about the spirit gem, Liu became interested, and according to the introduction, the energy contained in this spirit gem is comparable to that of an emperor level strongman. Let's take this as the first item. Well, I have to hurry up. Anyway, there is no hope of getting anything good, and even if there is, it is basically useless to me. After that, Liu chose a few more items, 2 of which were stones containing a lot of energy. Although they only added up to a few million points of energy, Liu didn't dislike them. The last 2 items were 2 ores. One was deep sea marrow silver, which was a palm-sized ore formed by continuous compression under terrifying water pressure. The other was star steel rock, a meteorite from the starry sky. After choosing, Liu followed the elder back to the first floor. At this time, they were sitting there bored, and there was also a middle-aged man with a stern face, standing quietly on the side. Seeing the elder and Liu coming down, the cold-faced middle-aged man walked up quickly and respectfully handed a space ring to the elder. Well, you go back first. The elder nodded, and said after his mental power swept over the space ring. Yes. The cold-faced middle-aged man bowed again and left directly. Liu, take a look. Are 30 million spirit stones enough? The elder said impatiently, after handing the space ring to Liu. He really couldn't wait to get the second half of the technique. Well, yes, here you go. This is the second half of the technique. Liu knew the number of spirit stones just by asking the system. Then he took out another information crystal and gave it to the elder. Trembling as he took the information crystal, tears flashed in the elder's eyes. He was obviously very excited and could hardly suppress his emotions. Perhaps this behavior was incomprehensible to others, but you could hardly imagine the status of the mythical beast Xuanwu in the hearts of the Xuan clan. It was their belief and the source of their power. Anything related to Xuanwu was the goal they were fanatically pursuing. After the transaction was over, the two sides returned to the Xuanwu hall to greet each other again. At noon, when it was time to eat, the patriarch of the Xuan clan, who was also Xuan Wuang's father, actually came to entertain Li Yu in person. Li Yu was also very surprised by the enthusiasm of the Xuan clan, but he did not feel uncomfortable and responded with enthusiasm. At the banquet, the patriarch of the Xuan clan also expressed the idea that the other three families wanted to trade with Li Yu. If Li Yu also had the same skills, they would exchange with Li Yu on the same terms. And Li Yu did not hesitate and agreed directly. Then, Li Yu directly came to the secret realm of the other three families through the teleportation array. The transaction was completed soon, and Li Yu once again obtained 60 million top-grade spirit stones, as well as 15 pieces of ores, special metals and other things. As for the three subsequent transactions, Shi Linfei felt that it was meaningless, so she did not follow Li Yu, so Li Yu had to go alone. After the transaction, because Li Yu wanted to go back quickly and then go to the magical continent, he directly refused the hospitality of the four major families and took Shi Linfei back to Lanjiang using the teleportation array again. After saying goodbye to Xuan Wuang, Li Yu and his friends returned to the villa. Seeing their son back, Li's father and mother were naturally very happy. After the family had dinner together, Li Yu left the villa and drove towards the city on the pretext of sending Shi Linfei home. However, on the way, the real Li Yu and Shi Linfei disappeared directly under the power of the system and came to the magical continent. And sitting in the car were their two puppet clones. However, Shi Linfei's clone who returned home was not discovered by the master's wife at all, and the same was true for Li Yu. The clones replaced Li Yu and others and started to run the store. Among them, Li Yu's clone was the store manager, responsible for security and jade processing, and Shi Linfei's clone was responsible for managing the hired waiters. Li's father and mother were responsible for managing the finances and calculating accounts. In fact, there was nothing to calculate. It was a business with no capital at all, just a formality. As for Li Yu's cousin Li Kaheo, he was still traveling around, so he hadn't come to work yet. Even if he came, Li Yu didn't plan to let him do odd jobs, but hired a jade carving master to be responsible for carving jade and teach Li Kaheo the skills of jade carving. Everything on the earth is over, let's not talk about it for now, and return our sight to the real Li Yu. At this time, Li Yu finally returned to the magical continent again, and Shi Linfei saw such a beautiful world again, and it also had so many magical species, and she ran around excitedly. And Li Yu was not impatient. After all, when he first took the risk, he was more excited than Shi Linfei. Therefore, he just let Shi Linfei play with the elves, while he squatted on the ground, and began to check the task information just released by the system. Chapter 295 The Power of the Fire-Breathing Dragon. Feeling the terrifying momentum from Charizard's attack, Shi Linfei naturally knew the power of this attack. However, even though she was extremely cautious in her heart, she could not show it. Otherwise, it would only affect 3D Dragon Zed's morale and affect his ability to exert his strength. Shi Linfei could only use encouraging words and work together with 3D Dragon Zed to resist the attack of the fire purgatory. Whoosh! The temperature around dropped to 0 degrees in an instant, and the originally quiet environment began to whistle with cold winds, and then goose feather snowflakes fell all over the sky. Boom boom boom. The wind and snow became more and more terrifying, until it was like the end of the world, and the ice and snow covered Charizard with the power of an avalanche. Boom. And at the moment, when the blizzard formed, Charizard's fire purgatory had also condensed. Hua hua hua. The fire inferno and the blizzard came into contact, and the extreme heat and extreme cold collided with each other, and the ice and snow melted instantly, and the flames went out. The ice and snow melted to form water mist, and finally turned into fire rain that drifted all over the sky. Li Yu and Shi Linfei were both a little surprised by this strange sight. Boom. Suddenly, a violent explosion woke them up. Looking around, it turned out that the fire purgatory broke through the obstruction of the blizzard and bound 3D Dragon Z in it. And those golden red flames were constantly burning 3D Dragon Z, and the surrounding air was extremely hot due to the evaporation of the flames. Even after 3D Dragon Z changed its attributes, it had great resistance to fire skills, but in the face of such a powerful attack, the immunity was almost useless. 3D Dragon Z. Magic Coat. Shi Linfei shouted loudly, asking 3D Dragon Z to use the magic coat quickly to enhance its defense. But as the energy in 3D Dragon Z's body flowed, a layer of magic coat condensed around its body, and those golden red flames were blocked outside. Zzzz. Just as Charizard was about to take advantage of the victory, lightning suddenly appeared on its body, and Charizard fell into a paralyzed state without knowing when. Charizard. Throw it on the planet. I didn't expect Charizard to have such bad luck. The chance of the electromagnetic cannon skill triggering the paralysis state is so low that it's outrageous. But Charizard's luck is really intoxicating. It won the prize in an instant. However, Liu knew that this state did not have a serious impact on Charizard. Roar. The figure rushed forward quickly. Charizard broke through the cage of the fire purgatory and directly grabbed 3D Dragon Z with both claws. Swish swish swish. As the wings flapped, Charizard spun quickly, faster and faster. Swish. Finally, when the speed reached a certain limit, Charizard directly threw 3D Dragon Z into the sky. The two elves were originally flying in the sky, and Charizard used all its strength to throw 3D Dragon Z away, and the figure of 3D Dragon Z immediately flew 100 meters high. Roar. Spray flames. Charizard sprayed hot flames from its mouth towards 3D Dragon Z, who had no power to resist. Boom boom boom. Without any resistance, 3D Dragon Z was hit by the jet of flames. The body that was originally falling flew into the sky again, and then fell straight down again. The battle was over, and Charizard took 3D Dragon Z away with one move. But after this battle, Charizard was definitely not feeling well. A lot of physical energy was consumed, and even a lot of mental energy was consumed. So to be able to defeat 3D Dragon Z, Charizard also paid a great price. Comeback. 3D Dragon Z. Shi Linfei was very satisfied with the performance of 3D Dragon Z after all. Charizard was Liu's trump card spirit, and although Shi Linfei also cultivated 3D Dragon Z very carefully, it was still a little bit worse than Charizard. Well, it's you. Hippoking. Name. Hippoking attributes. Water plus psychic qualification. Epic level. Gold level 45. 45% features. Regeneration effect. Has a strong recovery ability. Can quickly restore physical strength and recover from injuries. Abilities. Talented skills. Frozen wind. Makes the field blow with icy cold wind and can even cause frostbite to the opponent. Enabled. Magic coat. Rebounds all abnormal state attack skills. Enabled. Jet flame. Attacks the opponent with scorching flames and can cause the opponent to enter a burn state. Enabled. Water column tail. Swings the tail like a violent wave to attack the opponent with force. Enabled. Learning skills. Blizzard plus Shadow Clone plus Illusion Attack plus Super Impact plus Steel Tail from Slowpoke to Hippoking. Shi Linfei has put in a lot of effort and hard work and has crossed two forms in the middle. Slowpoke must first evolve into Slowpoke Hippo, and there is no need to say more about the difficulties. And to evolve from Slowpoke to Hippoking, it is even more difficult. However, with the guidance given by Liu through the system, plus Shi Linfei's hard work, Slowpoke's own hard training, finally achieved this goal. Hippoking can be said to be a very powerful elf. Although it is not one of the top ones, it is also at the top of the pyramid among many elves. However, Hippoking has a very fatal flaw, that is, his speed talent is too weak. We often use turtle speed to describe slow speed, but Hippoking's speed is slower than turtle speed. Hippoking. Frozen wind. Blizzard. Because 3D Dragon Z used the blizzard skill before, there were still traces of ice and snow on the field. Now, under the traction of Hippoking's frozen wind and blizzard, the surrounding temperature dropped to -10°C in an instant. The ice and snowstorm roared, rolling up the gust of wind and attacked Charizard. The blizzard was like a sharp blade, and the gust of wind alone was painful. Charizard. Destroy the death ray. Although it is better to use fire skills, To deal with ice skills, the power of the jet of flames may not be able to prevent the blizzard. So Liu chose the skill of Destroy the Death Ray, wanting to crush the blizzard directly with the powerful power of Destroy the Death Ray. Zzzz. What made Liu depressed was that the paralysis state that had been suppressed had invaded his body again when Charizard continuously destroyed the death light. Boom boom boom. The strong wind swept up the blizzard and attacked Charizard with an extremely cold breath. It was like a small boat in the sea. The paralysis affected the control of the body. Charizard could only endure the ravages of the blizzard without resistance. Raw. Illusion attack. Taking advantage of the fire. No, it was to pursue the victory. Under the command of Shilinfui, the Hippoking once again condensed a powerful attack. Boom. Unable to resist the blizzard, now facing another attack from the Hippoking, Charizard was hit again without surprise. Chapter 296, Attack of Alakazam. Blizzard plus Illusion attack. Two powerful skills completely hit Charizard, which was already seriously exhausted, finally lost its combat effectiveness. Name, Alakazam attribute, Psychic qualification, Epic level, Gold level 45, 55% features, Nightmare effect. In the early stage, he is naturally sleepy, but he can improve his mental power in dreams. In the later stage, he can create a nightmare space and pull the opponent into it. Ability, talented skills, wonderful space, create a mysterious space to imprison the opponent. Already enabled, position exchange, use incredible power to exchange the positions of both parties. Already enabled, 100 change fist, swing a mysterious punch with the power of ice, fire, and electricity. Already enabled, learning skills, telekinesis plus mental destruction plus miracle eye plus destruction death light plus nightmare devouring. Since Shilinfui's second Pokémon is Hippoking, Liu also intentionally or unintentionally sent out the Psychic Alakazam. After Yanjiro evolved into Alakazam, the biggest change was that the spoon in his hand changed from 1 to 2. This change is like the more spoons, the stronger the strength. Alakazam. Wonderful space. First, he ordered Alakazam to use the wonderful space to test the waters. After all, Hippoking is also a psychic Pokémon. Liu didn't know how much power Alakazam would have left after using psychic skills. But Alakazam's figure disappeared in an instant, and when he appeared again, he was behind Hippoking. Puff. With both hands on Hippoking's body, Alakazam was ready to pull him into the wonderful space. But Hippoking's mental power suddenly surged and directly burst his wonderful space. Sure, if the attack missed, he would flee thousands of miles away. Alakazam is like a legendary assassin. If the attack does not produce the desired effect, then leave first and look for another opportunity. Hippoking. Shadow clone. The gem on the skull cap on Hippoking's head flashed with strange colorful light, and then 6 or 7 Hippoking clones appeared around him. Hippoking. Super impact. Although his body seems to be bulky, after using the super impact skill, Hippoking's speed has reached a normal level. In addition, the main body and the clone kept interweaving, and even Shilinfui herself couldn't tell them apart. Alakazam. Be careful. Hippoking is also very good at using superpowers, so after using the shadow clone skill, it is not so easy to find the real body. Even with Alakazam's super mental power, he couldn't find Hippoking's real body in a short time, so he could only find a way to dodge the opponent's attack. Telekinesis. Alakazam couldn't find Hippoking's real body in a short time, but he was confident in dodging attacks. Telekinesis was activated instantly, and Alakazam disappeared instantly. The Hippokings who lost their attack targets suddenly stagnated, not knowing what to do. But soon, relying on the powerful mental induction, the Hippoking found Alakazam again, and launched an attack in that direction again. Position exchange. Since he couldn't find the clone or the real body, Alakazam simply stopped wasting mental power. Instead, he activated the position exchange skill and randomly selected a Hippoking to exchange positions with it. Puff. The attacks of the other hippopotamus fell on this hippopotamus. It directly broke its figure. Obviously, this hippopotamus is one of the clones. Although a little disappointed, Alakazam was not discouraged. After all, the probability of randomly choosing one of the many hippopotamus is really small to choose the real one. In the following battle, the two elves fought back and forth, fighting with each other. While dodging the opponent's attack, Alakazam kept searching for the location of the hippopotamus' real body and would also take the opportunity to launch attacks to eliminate those clones. The hippopotamus used static braking. After all, his speed talent was too poor. However, relying on the existence of many clones, it still caused a lot of trouble for Alakazam. Miracle Die. Looking at the 4 hippopotamus in front of him, Alakazam felt that it was time. Because there were 6 or 7 clones before, it took too much mental energy to find the real one. But now there are only 4 hippopotamus, and if it is 4 to choose one, even if it consumes mental energy, it is barely acceptable. But a strange light flashed in Alakazam's eyes, and then 2 colored beams shot out from his eyes. Just like a laser eye, it scanned back and forth on the 4 hippopotamus. Mental destruction. A special wave suddenly came from the body of a hippopotamus. Alakazam was shocked and said to himself, "I finally found you." Ben was calm on the surface, but the attack was condensed in an instant. Alakazam directly launched the mental destruction skill, and the attack instantly enveloped the hippopotamus before the hippopotamus could react at all. Boom. The figure flew backwards instantly, but although the hippopotamus completely took this move, with his strong physical defense and huge mental power, the damage caused was still not so ideal. But Alakazam's skills are more than that. Telekinesis was launched again, and Alakazam came directly to the side of the hippopotamus. Nightmare space. Although the wonderful space did not work before, the situation now is different. The power of the nightmare space is far greater than the wonderful space, and the hippopotamus is not as good as before. Before, the strength of the Hippo King was not affected at all, but now it was attacked by mental damage, and its mental power could not be fully exerted. Under various factors, the Hippo King was directly pulled into the nightmare space by Alakazam. Then all kinds of illusion attacks were thrown at the Hippo King, as if they were free. Raw. The mental barrier of the Hippo King was naturally not so easy to break through, and Alakazam's nightmare space was not so easy to get out of. In this way, the battle between the 2 elves became a competition of mental power. It depends on whose mental power can't hold on first, and then it will be the time to decide the winner. Who? Nightmare Devour. After more than a dozen rounds, the nightmare space was about to be defeated by the Hippo King, and had reached the edge of collapse. Therefore, Alakazam directly used the last trick, Nightmare Devour. Although it did not achieve the most ideal effect, the current situation cannot be optimistic. Boom. Just as Alakazam imagined, it is not so easy to devour the mental power of the Hippo King without completely destroying his mental barrier. Alakazam's mental power had just begun to invade, and before it began to devour, it was strongly resisted by the Hippo King. With a loud roar, Alakazam poured all his mental power into the attack, and the power of Nightmare Devouring reached an even more terrifying level. Chapter 297 EV Moon Form. With Alakazam's current strength, the destructive power generated by the full burst of mental power is so great that even the mental barrier of the Hippo King cannot stop it. Boom. The violent mental power is like a beast, directly tearing a hole in the mental barrier of the Hippo King, and then rushing into it, constantly devouring and pulling the mental power of the Hippo King. Roar. The mental power was violently attacked, and the Hippo King roared in pain, and hurriedly wanted to mobilize his mental power to resist the invasion. Unfortunately, Alakazam would not give him this opportunity, and once again increased the momentum of the attack. He directly devoured the mental power of the Hippo King. Woo woo woo. The mental power fell into a state of exhaustion, and the Hippo King, with a dizzy head, lay directly on the ground and fell asleep. And Alakazam's condition was obviously not very good either. After all, his mental power had exploded. Although there was still some physical strength left, the energy was not enough to control his body. Come back. Hippo King. Come back. Alakazam. Liu and Shilinfei took back the elves at the same time, and then released new elves at the same time. Eep. As soon as Shilinfei's elf appeared, it looked around in a daze, and called out in confusion. Name, EV attributes, Psychic plus Dark qualifications, Epic level, Gold level 46, 49% features, Dual personality effect. Due to special reasons, it has a dual personality in its body, and the personalities of the 2 personalities are completely opposite. Ability, talented skill, yin and yang split, create a second body and split the personality into it. The two bodies have the same mind, thus exerting a stronger power. Opened. Sun form. Skills. Burning sun power. Exclusive skill of EV's sun form. Jet flame. Jet flames to attack the opponent. Mysterious power. Use mysterious power to attack. The specific effect is unknown. Illusion. Launch an illusion attack, causing the opponent to fall into a state of illusion entanglement. Reversing the sun and moon. The sun form and the moon form simultaneously launch their exclusive skills, thus forming a terrifying combined attack stunt. Reversing the sun and moon. Moon form. Skills. Dark moon power. EV's exclusive skill in the moon form. Strange light. Condensing spiritual power into substance, emitting strange light, and causing phantom attacks. Destructive death light. Destroying energy gathering, killing everything along the way with destructive force. Shadow clone. Controlling one's own shadow, to create a shadow clone. Reversing the sun and moon. The sun form and the moon form simultaneously launch their exclusive skills, thus forming a terrifying combined attack stunt. Reversing the sun and moon. However, Liu knew that, although Eevee looked harmless, his strength was extremely terrifying. This can be seen from his attributes, which have both psychic and dark attributes. And because of his characteristics and innate skills, he can actually have two real bodies at the same time. Raw. Liu's spirit is the Great Sword Ghost. As soon as the Great Sword Ghost appeared, he looked up to the sky and roared, as if to show his strength. Name. Great Sword Ghost attributes. Water plus Dragon qualification. Legendary level. Gold tier 46. 39% features. Dragon Fury effect. In the dragon transformation state, the dragon's majesty is added, thereby greatly improving its own strength. This state can be controlled and turned on by yourself. Ability. Talented skills. Water swimming. As long as there is water, the strength is increased by 20%. Already turned on. Surfing. Control the huge waves to sweep in all directions. The power of this skill is doubled in the water environment. Already turned on. Water column tail. With the power of water, condense a huge pillar that reaches the sky. Already turned on. Fish leaping over the dragon gate. Absorb the blood of a powerful dragon type elf and possess the power of dragon transformation. Opened at level 50. Learning skills. Million tons horn strike plus destruction death light plus blizzard plus water spirit cage plus water dragon breaking sky slash. Although Eevee is very strong, Liu thinks that the Great Sword Ghost is not bad. And being able to fight with a special elf like Eevee is also a kind of experience accumulation. Great Sword Ghost. Surf. Although he had seen the style of Eevee during training, he had never fought against him in a real battle. Therefore, at the beginning, Liu did not command Great Sword Ghost to rush forward directly, but tried it out first. Boom. A huge wave suddenly appeared, and then surged towards Eevee. Eevee. Transform into moon form. Strange light. Before Eevee had a clone, it could control its own attributes, and transform into sun form or moon form. When it did not change its form, Eevee's own attributes and skill power were the same as those of ordinary elves. Only when the form is transformed will it receive the blessing of the corresponding attributes, so that its own strength will increase dramatically, and it will have corresponding skills. Swish. The power of the strange light is not weak, and the speed of condensation is not slow. In the blink of an eye, it formed and shot towards the huge wave. Hoo-ah-ha-ha. The huge wave was blocked, and the Great Sword Ghost standing on the huge wave also lost its fulcrum. However, with his current strength, he will naturally not fall down. Sure. Ignoring the huge waves that were broken and scattered into water, the Great Sword Ghost turned over several times in the air and landed steadily on the ground. Eep. Destruction Death Ray. Ibrahimovic had already prepared for the attack. If the Great Sword Ghost had not moved too quickly, he would have been attacked in midair. Bang. Sudden attack. The Great Sword Ghost could only condense a thin layer of energy shield to block in front of him. Then the Destruction Death Ray hit the shield. There was no doubt that the Destruction Death Ray directly broke through the shield and then directly hit the Great Sword Ghost, exploding violently. The figure traced more than 10 meters on the ground, and the traces of sliding could be clearly seen, which showed how terrible the attack power of the Great Sword Ghost was. The Great Sword Ghost looked embarrassed, his whole body was dirty, and he could even see wounds all over his body. Fortunately, with the energy shield blocking, the Great Sword Ghost's physical strength was greatly reduced, but the wounds were not fatal. Roar. The sound came out from the throat, and the low roar of the Great Sword Demon was like an angry beast. Great Sword Demon. Million-ton horn attack. The strong and hard giant horn was like a sharp blade, and the purple shell armor all over the body suddenly became bright, and there was a faint transparent energy covering the whole body. Boom. The figure jumped, and the Great Sword Demon came to the air, and then he was seen spinning strangely, and rushing towards EV. The Great Sword Demon, who couldn't fly at all, was spinning at high speed in the air when using the million-ton horn attack, and his power became more and more powerful. EV. Use. The power of the Dark Moon. For the Great Sword Demon's attack, Linfei didn't know what she was thinking, and didn't let EV dodge, but counterattacked. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 298, Joint Attack Reversing the Sun and Moon. If we only look at the appearance of the two Pokémons, Bladderhunter and Eevee, Eevee is obviously the weaker party. However, facing the full-strength million-ton horn attack, Linfei did not choose to dodge, but let it use skills to fight back. Dark Moon Power, Eevee's exclusive skill in the moon form. From the introduction alone, the real power cannot be seen at all. But Liu, who has seen this move of Eevee, clearly knows the terrifying power of Dark Moon Power. Just like Charizard's Fire Purgatory and Bladderhunter's Water Spirit Cage. Dark Moon Power in Eevee's moon form is also a predecessor skill of awakening skills. And the difference is that, because Eevee has two forms, he has learned two different skills, Dark Moon Power and Burning Sun Power. And these two skills can also be combined to use the skill of reversing the sun and the moon. Reversing the sun and the moon, you can feel its horror from the name. Boom. The Great Sword Ghost also did not dodge or evade. The million-ton horn attack directly collided with the Dark Moon Power of Eevee with the momentum of breaking the army. Just like Mars hitting the Earth, the Dark Moon Power was instantly detonated, and the highly concentrated energy instantly exploded, spreading to the surroundings in the form of energy waves, destroying everything along the way. Swish. The momentum of the Great Sword Ghost's advance was blocked by the energy wave. Even the momentum of the million-ton horn attack was directly blown away by the energy wave. Bang. The moment the energy wave touched the Great Sword Ghost, it immediately began to destroy his defensive armor. Because the Great Sword Ghost's shell armor did not cover every part of his body, the defense was not complete. But the purple shell armor suddenly lit up with a dazzling light, and then the energy bombarding the Great Sword Ghost was quickly absorbed by it. However, the power of the Dark Moon Power was really terrifying, and the purple shell armor was simply unable to absorb it. Most of the energy broke through the defensive armor and attacked the Great Sword Ghost's body. The dark and cold energy seemed to be a maggot on the tarsal bone, rushing into the Great Sword Ghost's body, tearing his flesh, and affecting the normal operation of the Great Sword Ghost's energy. Roar. The Great Sword Ghost roared in pain, and the feeling of being devoured by all kinds of poisons on his body and even in his body made him want to die. But, strongly controlling the turbulent energy in his body, the Great Sword Ghost wanted to suppress and even quell the invasion of the Dark Moon Power. But the Dark Moon Power seemed to be everywhere. No matter how the Great Sword Ghost expelled it, it was simply a waste of effort. EV. Destruction Death Light. Such a good opportunity, Linfei would naturally not miss it, and directly ordered Eevee to pursue the victory. But, the black pattern on Eevee's body suddenly lit up, and then the energy instantly surged out, and gathered in front of it, gradually forming a terrifying destruction death light. Boom. Because the Great Sword Ghost was expelling the Dark Moon Power in his body, he had no chance to stop Eevee's actions, so the destruction death light was released without any pressure. Great Sword Ghost. Be careful. Seeing that Eevee's attack had been successfully condensed and was about to be launched, Liu was very worried about Great Sword Ghost's state. Roar. Water Column Tail. Hearing Liu's sighs, Great Sword Ghost had no time to continue the previous action. He quickly suppressed the pain in his body and mobilized energy to prepare for counterattack skills. Boom boom. The destruction light suddenly attacked. Great Sword Ghost's water column tail had just condensed and was directly blasted out before he could aim. Fortunately, it did not miss. Otherwise, with Great Sword Ghost's current state, he could not withstand the damage of the destruction light. Raw. Water Spirit Cage. While the water column tail and the destruction light were deadlocked in the air, the energy in Great Sword Ghost's body surged out again, condensing the strongest attack skill. But the water that formed the water spirit cage seemed to be some special water. Although the water flooded the entire sky, it was as if the water had no mass. Boom. The water spirit cage gradually formed, and a huge cage composed entirely of water curtains was seen, like a dragnet, covering EV. Chichichi. The previous destruction light skill, after coming into contact with the water spirit cage, was like spring snow meeting the sun, and it melted away. Buzz buzz buzz. The water spirit cage was so fast that, after offsetting the energy of the destruction light, it flew forward and quickly enveloped the EV. EV. Yin and Yang split. Use reverse sun and moon in both forms at the same time. Break that cage. Seeing that the water spirit cage was gradually shrinking its range, and it had shrunk by half in the blink of an eye, and seeing that the EV was about to be crushed into a meat paste, Shi Lin Fei hurriedly gave orders. But the EV, who was originally in the moon form, suddenly emitted a dazzling white light, just like the light of evolution. Sure. Then the white light dissipated, and next to the moon form, a white and gold EV appeared. The hair of the EV in the sun form was like a cluster of golden flames. As the footsteps moved, the hair moved with the wind, as if the flames were burning. But the two EVs looked at each other, and then mobilized their energy to start condensing their attacks. It's unknown why, but the personalities of the two forms of EV are very different. The sun form of EV is passionate and active. The moon form of EV is very cold, and likes to stay there quietly. It only moves when training. But no matter what their personalities are, the two forms of EV obey Shi Lin Fei's command. It seems that, because they are originally one, the movements of the two EVs are very coordinated. It's like looking in the mirror, the postures and movements are exactly the same. But, in front of the sun form of EV, a dazzling sunlight and flames are cultivated, giving people a strong feeling of burning and violent. In front of the moon form of EV, a dark and cold light is looming, and the cold feeling it exudes makes people sweat. Boom boom boom. The two attacks are under their own control and merged together. However, the skills with completely opposite attributes are incompatible when they collide. But, however, with the concerted efforts of the two EVs, the power of the dark moon and the burning sun did not riot, but gradually calmed down and merged together. Sure. Reverse sun and moon was finally formed, and then under the control of the two EVs, it blasted towards the water spirit cage that had shrunk to a size of 3 to 5 meters. Puff. The energy concentration of the water spirit cage was such that Pokémons below the same level could not break it at all. However, reverse sun and moon was a fusion of two powerful skills, and its power was naturally not comparable to that of ordinary Pokémons. It was directly broken, and a large hole appeared in the water spirit cage, and the two EVs also drilled out of the hole one after another. Boom. Just as the EV had just left the water spirit cage, the water spirit cage finally shrank to its smallest size, and then exploded with a bang. Chapter 299, Long Yi's First Battle. Feeling the might of the explosion of the water spirit cage behind them, the two EVs were not affected at all. Instead, they looked at each other extremely calmly, and then quickly ran around the Great Sword Ghost. Moon Elf, use Shadow Clone, Strange Light. Sun Elf, use Mystical Power. Eevee can have two bodies, and Shi Lin Fei will naturally take advantage of this. First, let the Moon Elf, that is, the moon form of Eevee, use Shadow Clone, and then use Strange Light to interfere. But the real killer move is the skill used by the Sun Elf, that is, the sun form of Eevee, Mystical Power. With the cooperation of the two elves, no matter what the Great Sword Ghost chooses, it will be attacked fiercely by the other party. Haha, Great Sword Ghost. Water Dragon breaking the sky slash. It was a losing game on the edge of crisis, but Liu seemed not to notice it. Instead, he smiled slightly and shouted to the Great Sword Ghost. Roar. The Great Sword Ghost looked directly at the attack gradually condensed by the two EVs in front of him, without any fear, and roared and stomped his feet on the ground. Sure. The figure rushed forward instantly, and the speed suddenly increased to the peak state. In the hands of the Great Sword Ghost, two purple blades suddenly appeared. The dragon scale blade is no longer the dagger it was before. Since it evolved into the final form, the dragon scale blade of the Great Sword Ghost has also advanced to a 7-foot blade. Although it does not have the shape of a sword, it is sharper than a sword. In addition, this dragon scale blade is in harmony with the blood of the Great Sword Ghost, so it can be used at will. But the two dragon scale blades suddenly burst into purple light and then disappeared in an instant, as if nothing happened. Shua shua shua. He slashed at the air in front of him several times, seemingly without any effect. But in the void countless transparent energy attacks were attacking the moon elf. The moon elf was a little confused when she saw the futile actions of the Great Sword Ghost. But just as the energy attack was about to get close, the moon elf suddenly felt that the crisis was approaching. Not daring to continue to transform into clones, the moon elf immediately flashed away. Boom boom boom. Just as the moon elf's figure just flashed away, the original position exploded directly, and a large pit of 6 or 7 meters in size was directly blasted out. Boom. Just as the explosion subsided, the Sun Elf's attack was also ready, and the mysterious power attacked the Great Sword Ghost. Shua shua. The dragon scale blade swung again, seemingly without any reaction from me. But in the void in front of the Great Sword Ghost, the sky full of energy waves had already blocked the way forward. Boom boom. The mysterious power also approached the Great Sword Ghost within 3 meters, and then was detonated by the energy wave, unable to move forward any further. The Great Sword Ghost seemed to have its own shield in front of it, and the shock wave caused by the explosion could not get close to it, and only lifted up the smoke and dust in the sky. Sure. I don't know, when the moon elf appeared behind the Great Sword Ghost, and it also brought 5 clones. Boom. 6 moon elves simultaneously emitted strange rays of light, completely blocking the way forward and backward of the Great Sword Ghost, leaving no room for evasion. Raw. Destructive death ray. 1 against 6, although only one of the 6 moon elves on the opposite side was real. But if the real body could not be found, there was no difference between the clone and the original body. Since he could not dodge, the Great Sword Ghost simply did not dodge or give way. With a roar, he mobilized all his energy in front of him, and the speed of the condensation of the destructive death ray was even faster than the strange light. Boom 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 boom. The destructive death ray was like a laser. Under the control of the Great Sword Ghost, it swept back and forth at the enemy in front of it. Bang. With the full strength burst, the Great Sword Ghost finally got rid of the pain. The destructive death ray finally hit the original body of the moon elf, and the strong explosion instantly blew it away. Boom. However, before the Great Sword Ghost could adjust his state, his figure was hit directly by the attack, and then flew uncontrollably into the sky. The Great Sword Ghost burst out with all his strength to launch the destructive death ray. Although it was effective, the attack hit the moon elf. But activating this skill consumes my Great Sword Ghost's physical strength and energy, which is very serious. When the Great Sword Ghost and the moon elf were fighting, the Sun Elf would not stand there stupidly. The strongest skill, the burning sun power, was directly condensed in his hand. Just when the Great Sword Ghost had just finished attacking, and had not had time to adjust his state, the attack was launched instantly, and hit the Great Sword Ghost without any surprise. The moon elf struggled to stand up. It was not so comfortable to be completely hit by the destruction death ray. However, when seeing that the Great Sword Ghost was also in a mess, the moon elf cast a look at the sun elf. Well done. The Great Sword Ghost had already exhausted some of his energy because of the full strength activation of the destruction death ray, and before he could start to recover, he suffered all the damage of the burning sun power again. As a result, the Great Sword Ghost's already weak body was even more overwhelmed, as if his body was hollowed out, and he fainted directly. Come back. Great Sword Ghost. Liu had thought that Great Sword Ghost would be defeated by EV, but he didn't think it would be so easy. However, he was not the kind of person who would hesitate and tangle. Since he lost, there was nothing to say. Liu took back Great Sword Ghost, and began to think about the countermeasures quickly. EV. In that case, it must be you. Violent Salamander. After thinking about it, Liu finally chose Violent Salamander. The reason was very simple. First of all, Violent Salamander's strength could cope with the current situation. And after defeating Eevee, Liu would face Shilinfer's strongest elf, Ice Spirit. As the contracted elf of the Ice God, Ice Spirit's strength is not weaker than any of Liu's elves. In addition, Ice Spirit is familiar with Violent Salamander, that is, Longyi. So if the two elves fight each other, Liu really wants to see that scene. It must be said that Liu is actually a little bit sinister in his heart. Bingling and Longyi are so familiar with each other that, if they become rivals, they will definitely not go all out. But Liu actually wants to watch the kind of melodramatic plot like an idol drama. If Shilinfer knew what he was thinking, she would definitely roll her eyes and look down on him. Longyi has been practicing in the practice space for so long, plus the special training in the Tower of the Strong. Now his strength is the strongest among Liu's elves. Of course, this strongest refers to those who are not Xiaoshan and Xiaobei. Otherwise, with the power of Xiaoshan and Xiaobei's divine beasts, even if their levels are not as good as Longyi, they can still crush him in terms of strength. 8. Chapter 300 Longyi vs Bingling. Name: Violent Salamander. Attributes: Dragon plus Flying Qualification, Legendary Level, Gold Tier 49, 99% Features: Dragon's Intimidation Effect, High Purity Dragon Blood, naturally suppresses low-level dragon elves, and also intimidates elves of other attributes. Abilities: Talented Skills, Dragon Dance, dance the mysterious dance that the Dragon Clan does not pass on, and increase your attack and speed. Already enabled, Mystical Guardian, use mysterious power to deploy a shield to protect yourself. Already enabled, Dragon Rage, breaking the sky slash, gather the power of the whole body and continuously and violently attack the opponent. Already enabled, Dragon God Dive, release terrifying murderous aura and hit the opponent at the same time, sometimes making the opponent timid. Already enabled at level 60, learning skills: Sky Dragon Meteor plus Landslide plus Destruction Deathlight plus Big Word Explosion plus Jet Flame. Longyi's original strength was very strong. Now after Liu's special training and his own efforts, his strength has also improved greatly. I don't know why Ryuyi is so desperate during training every day. He is like a workaholic. No matter how Liu persuades him, it doesn't work. He will only be normal for a while when Bingling comes. But once Bingling leaves, Ryuyi will immediately return to his original state. Although he really wants to know the not in Ryuyi's heart, Liu also knows that his relationship with Ryuyi has not reached that kind of closeness. However, Liu believes that one day he will be like Xiaozi and Pikachu in the anime, and Ryuyi will definitely tell him the secret voluntarily. Roar. Sky Dragon Meteor. As soon as Ryuyi appeared, he roared without waiting for Liu's command. Then, meteorites as big as cars fell to the ground. Liu didn't expect Ryuyi to be so violent. He didn't wait for him to say anything. He threw out skills without paying, and it was the strongest skill, Sky Dragon Meteor. Although it was caught off guard, it seems to be effective. Regarding Ryuyi's action, Liu was helpless and didn't know what to say. Sighing secretly, Liu could only comfort himself. Sun Elf. Moon Elf. Be careful. Liu did not expect Longyi's sudden attack, and Shilinfer and the two EVs were even more unexpected. By the time Shilinfer reacted, the meteorites that fell from the sky had already hit the ground with a loud bang, and the splashed debris was like bullets. Eep. The two EVs were dancing on the tip of a knife, their forehooves stomping on the ground quickly, and their figures kept flashing back and forth, avoiding the attack of meteorites and even the splash damage of debris. Boom boom boom. Longyi looked at the movements of the two EVs there, as if he was watching an ant struggling, and his ferocious face showed a disdainful sneer. He spewed out dragon breath casually from his mouth, without even aiming, and attacked the field casually, as if teasing a clown. With the geographical advantage and strength advantage, Longyi was arrogant. However, being 4 levels higher than EV, the resulting level suppression and the advantage of occupying the sky gave Ryuyi something to be proud of. Eek. The Moon Elf was already exhausted by the Great Sword Ghost, and now facing Ryuyi's Sky Dragon Meteor, the remaining physical strength was not enough to support him in such a high intensity evasive movement. Sure. What was extremely strange was that after the Moon Elf lost its combat power, after being hit by the meteorite, the figure actually slowly turned into black light and then injected into the body of the Sun Elf. Sun Elf, come back. Even if the Sun Elf's state can continue to fight, compared to Rai's strength, it is like facing a mountain, and there is no power to resist at all. After all, the gap in strength between the two sides is too big, and Rai is about to break through to the diamond level. And even though Eevee is gifted, its level is only 45. Humph. Liu, you must have done it on purpose. Otherwise, how could it be such a coincidence? Looking at Liu's somewhat mean expression, Shi Linfei snorted and rolled her eyes. Long Yi's move of Sky Dragon Meteor was like a miracle, summoning meteorites all over the sky. Even Shi Linfei, who had cultivated to the heavenly rank, could barely launch such a spell with such an attack. Therefore, if she wanted to fight with Long Yi again, or even be on equal terms with him, only Bingling had such strength. And considering the relationship between Bingling and Long Yi, if they became opposing parties, even if they were temporary opponents, they would be timid in a fight. After thinking about this, Shi Linfei was speechless about Liu's bad taste. But apart from rolling her eyes, she didn't know what to say. Bingling, it's up to you now. You must teach me a good lesson. This abominable guy. With only Bingling left as an elf, Shi Linfei could only do this. But in Shi Linfei's heart, she was thinking about letting Bingling teach Liu a good lesson. Elf, Ice Spirit, Special Ninetale, Attribute, Ice Qualification, Sub-God level, about to break through to Myth level, Gold level 49, 99% features, Ice Crystal Body Effect, the whole body is made of ice crystals, which can be completely integrated with the ice and snow environment, and is immune to the energy damage caused by any ice skills. Unless the power of the ice skill exceeds a certain limit. Ability, innate skills, Cold Flash plus Avalanche plus Frozen World plus Absolute Zero learning skills, Blizzard plus Quick Freezing, Ray plus Ice and Snow plus Ice and Earth Crystal plus Frozen Volt. Looking at the simple attribute introduction of the Ice Spirit, Liu did not despise it at all, but was extremely cautious. Just the qualification of the sub-god level made Liu feel very serious, not to mention that it was about to break through to the myth level. Among the elves with myth level qualifications, apart from Xiaoshan and Xiaobei from Earth, Liu has only seen Mutwo, Celebi, and Lugia, who are mythical beasts. Among the many ordinary elves, Liu had never seen one with mythical qualifications. Now in the attributes of Bingling, Liu finally saw the existence of the so-called mythical qualifications, so the opponent's strength can be imagined. Long Yi, don't relax. You must go all out. At this moment, Liu also retracted the idea of spoofing, and turned to look at Bingling in a serious state, and shouted to Long Yi, "Roar, I will. Ling, let me see your strength." Unlike facing Eevee before, Long Yi was stunned when he saw that his opponent was Bingling. After hearing Liu shouting, Long Yi quickly recovered, and then a barely noticeable smile hung on the corner of his mouth. Long Yi, I will go all out. The nine tails behind Bingling kept flashing. Looking at Long Yi's serious eyes, Bingling nodded and said with a smile, "End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video."